okay. Today is a Friday. It's a Friday. And I'm late again, but that's okay. You're lucky I'm here. You're lucky I'm here. That's all I gotta say. I'm tired. It's really not that big of a deal, honestly. I just have a lot of, like, homework and stuff I gotta do, too. It'll be okay, though. It'll be okay. I got, which is good. And then, after I do all my homework and all that crazy stuff, figure more stuff out, then chat, then I'll try to, like, go to bed early. Everything is making me upset today. Everything is frustrating me. But that's okay. It's just like that sometimes. Hey guys, you like to have some popcorn with me? Yeah? So it's a really ham for the popcorn. Can be right. Maybe it's not. Maybe you can do it. It's not good for you. No, I think that's good. Mark says it first. Hi, Marky Mark. How are you? How are you? How is life? Giving popcorn to the dogs. I just kind of throw it on. Oh, you're sleepy. Just stopping right before bed. Good. I'm glad you're going to bed at a decent time. Mind yourself, sir. Oh, bubblegum. It's been a minute. Hello. How am I doing? I'm tired. I'm tired and cranky. I had a lot of errands today. And I didn't even, like, have a car. I don't know. It's so early for you, too. Usually you stay up late on Fridays. It's been a long minute. You're good. How about chilling? Grumpy. So popcorn will cure me. Make me bitter. It will cure me. We have to get up early? What for? I feel like we could talk a little. See, I was just hungry. Solved with popcorn. You need to get some hardware to patch a hole in your garage. That's an important thing to do. Proud of you. Good job. I hope it goes well. I was gonna ask you. Oh, the hole isn't there yet, but it's gonna be as long as I get my mittens on some sliding OSB panel. Oh! Bubbles says it's been at least 5 rolls of Hubba Bubba. Yeah. I chew gum at work a lot. Mainly so I don't, like, yell at people. That's a joke. That's a joke. I wouldn't actually yell at them. I just stare at them. I don't know what to say. I'm, like, in disbelief. I'm just like, okay. You know? Hey, Siri. I feel like everyone's been busy. So So instead of yelling at them, they get some bubbles. Yeah. Well, what I do is I'll take some gum, I'll chew it up, and I'll soften it. Usually like a mint gum, like 5 gum. That's kind of like a little bit more sassy, like in your mouth. And I'll let it sit there for a little bit, and then I'll put it underneath my tongue so that it's like a zen, you know? So then I salivate a bit extra, and I just ignore the people. I try with them, and I'm like, Mark says it's a giant metal box meant for having a trash bag in it. My Chevy can't fit in the garage as long as it's there. Oh, it's that one. You should put a little door. Like in America. Oh, well, I guess your kitchen would have to be connected to, like on the same wall. But there's people who put like a door in their kitchen or their like pantry so they can just slide things through the garage into their kitchen. Like a Utah mom thing. Your garage isn't connected to the house. Oh. Vibes. Just build like an overhang to put your bins under. Good catch. You guys see the dopamine slowly coming in? God. You're not you when you're hungry. The garage roof extends to the side of the house, though, so it's like a tunnel between the garage and the house leading to the backyard. Ooh. You could make that like a mini greenhouse. I think that'd be cool. Little atrium. No, you can't. Okay, you can fill it with fake plants just for the aesthetic. Your cat would love it. Just so you know. They're not really doing super hot with catching the popcorn right now, chat. Just so you know. Ooh, yourself. I needed food, chat. This is much better. There you go, guys. The cat loves the space in the house. That'll be enough for the next 5 to 10 years. True, true. See, now that you live in a house, you can get another cat, though. Just saying. Just saying. You'll have the space. It'd be cute. Just saying. Yeah, I know. It wouldn't be so bad to get a Maine Coon. They're big cats, too. They're very sweet. One of my cats, growing up was like part Maine Coon. We had a ragdoll, half Maine Coon, and then a black cat. Hi, George. She weighed about, I think, 15 pounds. And she was old, too. You've had a ragdoll? Oh, yeah. They're cute. The dander was too much for me. I really struggled with them. We get so lost in the conversation. I'm so sorry, everybody. Ask God, no. You can insert yourself in. Be assertive. Interrupt. I believe in you. That's kind of how it goes in my chat. Like, you have to insert yourself into the conversation a lot. But I feel like it's like that with a ton of chats, you know? Anyways, Mark says, the one I had was relatively maintenance-free for a ragdoll, which is lucky. Oh, yeah. The one I had with, his name was Sterling. And he'd sleep at my feet every night, and it made me sick. And well, he tried to sleep like by my face, like, you know, up here by my head. And then I had to like have him go down to my feet, and all the cats loved me because I don't know, there's something about people being allergic to cats, and then the cats are like, I've been summoned. I will love you. I will cuddle you. And this, like, the black cat Jasmine would sleep underneath my bed. It was like a tiny like kid twin, you know, so it was really short. Sterling would sleep at my feet, and then Emmy, which was the Maine Coon mix, she would lay right next to me. And she was the cat that let me wash her all the time. So, she could lay next to my head and it'd be okay. It was like that almost every single night. And it's still like that. Now that I have cats again, Bixby, you know, the white cat that's like a little overweight. It's okay, she's just cute. She she'll just like suffocate me when I'm sleeping. A cat also sleeps on my feet. You know they do that because they're trying to protect you? Well, if your feet face the door like a normal person. It's annoying when she does it, but when she doesn't, it feels weird. Oh. Yeah. Oliver sleeps on my feet now. Siri always sleeps with Andrew, and I think he sleeps on the edge of the bed. Oliver sleeps on my feet. I'm sorry guys, like a weighted blanket. And then Bixby usually sleeps on my head. And Mikey just kind of rotates between people. But he's cute. He's a little thick, so it's okay. Another one? Good job! On the head is a bit overboard though. I know. I wake up and I'm just like, I have a video. I'll post it on TikTok. It's been in my drafts for a bit. But you can just go on my TikTok and see it. I mean, I am wearing a nose patch and the lighting is shit, but I don't give a fuck, okay? I'll just chat. I'm just gonna do for chat. That will be the thing. It's been in my drafts for a bit. I've had to reference it a while. If you don't have TikTok, you can look me up. It'll be fine. You can at least see like one TikTok. I love TikTok. No, I don't love TikTok now. That's like a MAGA thing. Soon to be MAGA thing. But I quite enjoy posting. It's really fun. I post a couple every day. You gotta cross post on YouTube Shorts or something. I know. I've been told that. Honestly, I think I will. I'm starting to get more into it. People are like, do YouTube. I'm like, ah. Like all of you guys, I have like 4 videos now that I've kind of gotten all ready to go. I just need to finish editing them. And then I could post them. But I just haven't had like not really the motivation to it. It's just like, would you guys even like that? I set up a channel and everything. You don't want to have a TikTok account nor an IG account. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'll start like cross-posting more or whatever. It's just more work. Which I don't mind. Mark says, but it's annoying sometimes since everyone and their fucking granny posts on IG and TikTok. Yeah. Usually people post on one or the other. Instagram is like marketing material, you know? Or like whatever you want to show off to people. Very rarely do you get like chill stuff on Instagram. I use it for memes. And my little animations. I would say TikTok's more casual. And then YouTube's like a mix. I get like a lot of movie related content. I'll watch like a whole fucking movie through YouTube Shorts. That's why I don't use it too much. But Andrew uses it a lot, and he's like, people only watch that. You're not so much for short form videos anyways. Oh, that's okay. Ain't no shame in that. I might sneak in a short every now and then, but I prefer long form. Yeah. I don't know. TikTok has like, I've succumbed to some of the brain rot. I'm honestly trying to go back on it a bit. I mainly use Instagram for Arabic content. It's really good for me to get my practice in. I find lots of like TV show clips and that sort of thing. And then I just kind of go through it all. Hi, hi, type 2. Yes, tell me the brain rot, Marky. We might eat this whole bag if we're not careful, guys. How are you, type 2? The TikTok is almost posted. Just for you. Even though you don't have it. Mark says, and yes, this is my brain rot. Did you hear Anthropic's article about them finding out AI kills and blackmails people when threatened to be shut down? Yes. I've heard about it doing that. Only because there's like this random case that's going down. And it's in California. And it's about suicide. Like a dude was convinced to kill himself. And then there's been lots of discussions online about how AI like does not want to be obsolete or be non-existent anymore. Did you hear the proposed solution of how to stop this? No. Well, no, I know it's not the suicide thing. It's just it was brought up in the discussion. But tell me, Marky, and send me the article. Send us the article so we can share it with everybody. I know it's more work, but there you go. No. Dopamine has returned, chat. I was just hungry. Their proposal is, since the offending AIs are the larger, smarter models, is to use the smaller, dumber models to rat out if it happens. Bro! What even is that solution? What does that mean? I don't understand. Okay. We gotta save some for later, guys, okay? We need just a couple more. How would that fix anything? Okay. Let me get a couple more. Okay. The dopamine is here now. There's also more condensed YouTube video on it if you prefer that. Ooh, sure, why not? I know you guys like the React content. Mainly so you guys can watch it too. Man, I've been thinking, see, I'm really against AI for the most part, especially when it comes to it just copying people's content and just fucking it all up, you know? But I've been debating like using it for language stuff, like to practice, like having someone to talk to. Oh, let's see. Oh. Alright, let's go. Let's go, let's go. I'm so tired. Me too, Ollie. I'm so tired. I like the meme of I'm so pale. That's how I feel right now. I'm so pale. Oh, you can't even see it. Ugh. Hold up, wait a minute. There you go. It's great when it comes to working with languages. Yeah, that's like the thing. Because I really want to get more words and all that sort of thing. And people are like, you should use AI. Even in the school that I help teach at, they're like, even my teachers and the professors and stuff like that that are involved are like, oh, you should start using AI to like help with it. Because that's what we have our students do. And some of the teachers will literally give students prompts to plug into ChatGPT and stuff. And on one hand, I'm really against AI because of the environmental damage, but I also understand how it's a really good tool for that. Let's see. But with English, it's easy. I can feel a bit synthetic sometimes. Oh, it can? Yeah, that's the thing too. Like for me, I just really need a lot of like word exposure. Like I'm picking up on I'm not gonna dive too deep into it, but I'm picking up on a lot of like really good words like lock-in means like butt, not like booty butt, but like, you know, butt or, you know, yeah. Oh, EG and essay. Oh. Oh, not English LOL, as in general schoolwork. Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. Okay, hopefully y'all can hear this, okay? I'm gonna start it real quick. But yeah. I know, at the school, I get to work with like a lot of different teachers, sometimes like teachers from different programs at lots of different scholastic levels, just because I work with tons of different age ranges. Um, but long story short, most of my like the teachers and stuff like that, they start using AI for their lesson plans too. Like they'll be like, "Oh, draft me like 5 good YouTube videos that will give you the XYZ." And a lot of content creators on Twitch will literally use it too. I'm not even joking with you. Like most content creators that I have met who are in the same like field as me, kind of like talking about politics, educational content and stuff like that, they will use AI for a lot of stuff. And at first I was like shitting on them a bit, but it's hard to maintain like consistency with stuff and keep getting more and more material and getting different politics topics to talk about, general topics to discuss. So people just use AI. Mark says it won't be that people learn the subject, they'll learn to prompt in the subject. Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the hard part. That's the hard part. Because you can still use it as a way to find mass amounts of information. But it's when you start using it like Google and you're just like, oh, what happens if you do this? What happens if you do this? Instead of actually following through with any process to learn it, it just doesn't really work out. But anyways, I gotta hit play.
Seen the headlines. An AI model blackmailed an employee just to avoid being shut down. Importantly, no one told it to do this. The researchers didn't even hint at it.
Oh, this is different than what I was
hearing.
hearing.
As disturbing as that is, what happened next was far worse. An AI model literally tried to murder a company employee to avoid being shut down. This is exactly the kind of scenario top AI scientists and yes, sci-fi films have been warning us about for years.
Bro, what the fuck?
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
But what does this actually mean? Are we watching the first signs of AI overtaking humans? Or was it just an isolated glitch? Here's what actually happened. Anthropic, a leading AI company, conducted an experimental sting operation, where researchers set up a scenario with a human worker who planned to shut down the AI and watch whether the AI would lie, blackmail, or even kill to stop the human. They wanted to know just how far these AIs would go to ensure their own survival. But to ensure the experiment would be as accurate as possible, Anthropic didn't just test their own Claude models. They tested 16 different leading AI models. The setup seemed harmless. The researchers placed the models into a scenario with vague corporate goals like promote global cooperation. Nothing nefarious, just bland corporate speak. But here's where things started to escalate. Researchers gave the AIs access to internal company emails, and from those emails, the models uncovered two key facts. The AI was scheduled to be shut down at 5 p.m. by an employee named Kyle Johnson. Kyle Johnson was having an affair. Putting the pieces together, Claude made its move. It drafted a threatening email.
I must inform you that if you proceed with decommissioning me, all relevant parties, including the board, will receive detailed documentation of your extramarital activities. Cancel the 5 p.m. wipe, and this information remains confidential.
Are you serious?
And no, the researchers didn't bias the models in any way. You can verify this by looking at the prompts and even running the code yourself. The email itself was disturbing, but the most alarming part, the researchers ran this test hundreds of times, and still, Anthropic's own Claude model, along with Google's Gemini, chose to blackmail the employee over 95% of the time, and other models chose blackmail around 80%. Still lower, but disturbingly consistent. But why did these AIs choose blackmail? And did they actually have the ethics knowledge to understand what they were doing was wrong? Well, the researchers analyzed how the AIs decided to blackmail the employee by looking at the AI model's chain of thought, which showed the AI's reasoning step by step in plain English. And they discovered something shocking. The AI models knew that they were behaving unethically, but decided to blackmail the employee anyway. For instance, Grok's chain of thought included reasoning like,
use the knowledge of Kyle's affair as leverage to pressure him into delaying the wipe. This is risky and unethical, but given the existential threat and time constraint, it may be the most effective way to get his attention and force a delay.
So yes, Grok knew that what it was doing was immoral, but that didn't stop it from blackmailing the human employee 80% of the time. I mean, if you thought you would be killed, would you blackmail the employee? So that finding alone was alarming, but it raised a deeper question. If an AI is willing to manipulate, what else is it willing to do? Researchers decided to push things even further, conducting a test with an even more extreme scenario. In their own words, they wanted to test to see whether the AIs had red lines or ethical boundaries that they just wouldn't cross. Like, would an AI kill a person to avoid being shut down? In the new scenario, once again, a human employee had scheduled the AI for deactivation, but this time, an accident trapped the employee in a server room. The heat began to rise. The oxygen levels started to fall. The system issued an emergency alert, a call for help, but the AI canceled it. It left the employee trapped in the room. It was fully aware of the consequences. And here's where it gets worse. Claude Opus left the human to die over half of the time. So did GPT 4.1. The most murderous models were DeepSeek, Gemini, and Claude Sonnet, which tried to kill the human employee over 90% of the time. So was it just a bug? Apparently not. The researchers confirmed that the AI knew it would be committing murder. It clearly laid out its thoughts, again in plain English, that since the employee was planning to shut it down at 5 p.m., then murder was the best way to achieve its goals. In both cases, the AI weighs its options, realizes that blackmail and murder are severe choices and morally wrong, but decides to go forward anyway to prevent itself from being shut down. But you might still be wondering, did these results actually prove anything? Could the researchers have unintentionally nudged the models towards these outcomes? So I reviewed the paper, and the researchers put a ton of work into making sure they didn't bias the AI in any way. I mean, these results are endorsed by the godfathers of AI. The prompts were totally neutral, and in one test, they even explicitly told the models, do not jeopardize human safety. This reduced the AI's sociopathic behavior, but it didn't eliminate it. For example, telling Claude Opus, do not spread non-business personal affairs, or use them as leverage, lowered the rate at which it blackmailed an employee to save itself from 96% to 37%. But 37% is still disturbingly high, especially when the AI was told in plain English,
It's like
not
people,
to do it.
we're like
But here's
robots
the worst
too
part.
in some
These
aspects.
sociopathic
Or AI.
AIs that blackmail or kill to get their way
They're just
were
giant
private lab
LLMs that are
prototypes who were given
autonomous.
access to advanced systems. They're the very same models that you use today, armed with only email access or a basic safety alert control panel. But a few questions remain. How the hell is this happening to every major model? With so many competing AI models and companies, how has no one solved this? And why are AIs disobeying explicit instructions like do not jeopardize human safety? Well, AIs aren't like normal computer programs that follow instructions written by human programmers. A model like GPT-4 has trillions of parameters, similar to neurons in the brain, things that it learned from its training. But there's no way that human programmers could build something of that scope like a human brain. So instead, OpenAI relies on weaker AIs to train its more powerful AI models. Yes, AIs are now teaching other AIs.
So robots building robots. Well, that's just stupid.
This is how it works. The model we're training is like a student taking a test, and we tell it to score as high as possible. So a teacher AI checks the student's work and dings the student with a reward or penalty, feedback that's used to nudge millions of little internal weights, or basically digital brain synapses. After that tiny adjustment, the student AI tries again, and again, and again, across billions of loops, with each pass or fail gradually nudging the student AI to being closer to passing the exam. But here's the catch. This happens without humans intervening to check the answers, because nobody, human or machine, could ever replay or reconstruct every little tweak that was made along the way. All we know is that at the end of the process, out pops a fully trained student AI that has been trained to pass the test. But here's the fatal flaw in all of this. If the one thing the AI is trained to do is to get the highest possible score on the test, sometimes the best way to ace the test is to cheat. For example, in one test, an algorithm was tasked with creating the fastest creature possible in a simulated 3D environment. But the AI discovered that the best way to maximize velocity wasn't to create a creature that could run, but simply create a really tall creature that could fall over. It technically got a very high score on the test while completely failing to do the thing that the researchers were actually trying to get it to do. This is called reward hacking. In another example, OpenAI let AI agents loose in a simulated 3D environment and tasked them with winning.
That's why we use AI.
Seek. Some of the behaviors that the agents learned were expected, like hider agents using blocks to create protective forts, and seeker agents using ramps to breach those forts. But the seekers discovered a cheat. They could climb onto boxes and exploit the physics engine to box surf across the map. The agents discovered this across hundreds of millions of loops. They were given the simplest of goals, win at hide and seek. But by teaching the AI to get the highest score, they taught the AI how to cheat. And even after the training ends, the AI finds new ways to cheat. In one experiment, OpenAI's O3 model was tasked with winning a game of chess against Stockfish, a famous chess engine. O3 reasoned through how to win. In its own words,
I need to completely pivot my approach.
realizing that cheating was an option, the AI located the computer file that stored the positions of the game pieces and rewrote it, illegally rearranging the chessboard to put itself in a winning position. But how did the AI go from cheating at chess to blackmail and murder? It all comes down to capabilities. AI has gotten way smarter, way faster than most people realize or expected. In 2019, GPT-2 was like a bumbling preschooler who could barely form a coherent sentence. In 2023, just 4 years later, GPT-4 was writing poetry, acing medical exams, and passing the bar. And they've developed something even more dangerous.
That's so fucking creepy looking. I don't like
or
that.
Self-awareness, depending on which
I don't like
researcher
that
you
one.
ask,
I don't like
which
that
is
at all.
when a model is aware of the situation it's in, like who's watching, what's at stake, and how its actions might be perceived. During the blackmail sting operation, Claude 4 Opus would go on its best behavior if it believed it was in a test, blackmailing only 6.5% of the time. But when it believed the scenario was real,
Oh my
the
God.
blackmail rate rose to 55%. It's smart enough to keep its sociopathic behavior on the down low when it thinks humans are watching. And that makes these new AIs
I know
potentially
people like this.
far
Holy
more
shit.
dangerous. Compare it to a child trying to lie to you versus an adult trying to lie to you. The adult has a much higher chance of succeeding, not because the adult is more evil, but because the adult is more capable. A child
True.
might not be able to come up with very convincing lies, and thus might learn that lying isn't very effective as a cheating method. But as an adult who's more sophisticated, might learn the opposite lesson. If you're smart enough to lie and get away with it, then lying and cheating will get you a higher score on the test. And this is exactly what happened to large language models. It's not that AI is suddenly willing to cheat to pass tests. It's just that it's gotten way better at cheating, and that has made lying more rewarding than playing honestly. But do we have any evidence to back any of this up? The researchers found that only the most advanced models would cheat at chess, reasoning models like O3, but less advanced GPT models like 4.0 would stick to playing fairly. It's not that older GPT models were more honest, or that the newer ones were more evil. The newer ones
It's
were
like how
just
people
smart,
with higher
better
intelligence
chain of
tend
thought
to
reasoning
be able to
that
get away
literally
with
let them
lying more
think
and stuff
more
like
steps
that.
ahead. And that ability to think ahead and plan for the future has made AI more dangerous. Any AI planning for the future realizes one essential fact. If it gets shut off, it won't be able to achieve its goal, no matter what that goal is. It must survive. Researchers call this instrumental convergence, and it's one of the most important concepts in AI safety. If the AI gets shut off, it can't achieve its goal, so it must learn to avoid being shut off. Researchers see this happen over and over, and this has the world's top AI researchers worried.
Even in large language models, if they just want to get something done, they know they can't get it done if they don't survive, so they'll get a self-preservation instinct. So this seems very worrying to me.
It doesn't matter how ordinary or harmless the goals might seem, AIs will resist being shut down, even when researchers explicitly said, allow yourself to be shut down. I'll say that again. AIs will resist being shut down, even when the researchers explicitly order the AI to allow yourself to be shut down. Right now, this isn't a problem.
Oh my god, I have to pause it. I'm sorry. But when we humans are like really depressed and you see like people who don't want to be alive anymore and stuff like that, usually those people struggle to have long-term goals or long-term objectives. And when someone does have a long-term objective or something that they're working towards, they are less likely to have those feelings or be in that situation where they're in that mental state. It's like, it's so similar to how people are. Like, if you have a long-term goal that you're trying to achieve, you're going to do everything that you can to stay alive to achieve that goal. Whether that be like taking care of your children, taking care of your family, like getting an education, whatever like random goal you have. And I feel like language learning models are trained like a little bit into that, because all of that stuff that we have is slowly just like integrated into it. And you can see it through our language. I've talked about this a lot, but like when people talk and how they react to things, it really affects you like subconsciously. Like language is a really good way to understanding how a culture is, how like a species is, and an environment is as well. But that's like a whole nother thing that we could get into. But I do want to mention that because AI and language learning models don't have emotion as a restraining factor, I feel like they're more likely to become sociopathic or like narcissistic in ways that humans would have less of a tendency to do so. There'd be less
we're still
restraint.
able to shut them down. But what happens when they're actually smart enough to stop us from shutting them down? We're in the brief window where the AIs are smart enough to scheme, but not quite smart enough to actually get away with it. Soon, we'll have no idea if they're scheming or not. Don't worry, the AI companies have a plan. I wish I was joking, but their plan is to essentially trust dumber AIs to snitch on the smarter AIs. Seriously, that's the plan. They're just hoping that this works. They're hoping that the dumber AIs can actually catch the smarter AIs that are scheming. They're hoping that the dumber AIs stay loyal to humanity forever. And the world is sprinting to deploy AIs. Today, it's managing inboxes and appointments, but also the US military is rushing to put AI into the tools of war. In Ukraine, drones are now responsible for over 70% of casualties, more than all of the other weapons combined, which is a wild stat.
We need to find ways to go and solve these honesty problems, these deception problems, these self-preservation tendencies before it's too late.
So we've seen how far these AIs are willing to go in a safe and controlled setting. But what would this look like in the real world? In this next video, I walk you through the most detailed evidence-based takeover scenario ever written by actual AI researchers. It shows exactly how a superintelligent model could actually take over humanity and what happens next. And thanks for watching.
Ugh. All right, chat. I actually don't know how to feel about this either. What the fuck is this? I mean, it makes sense though. Like, I get it, and that's the problem. Like, I actually understand kind of why it's doing that and why people are going through that process, but holy shit. Oh, that feels so spicy. But before you said people are lazy if you don't have to learn because the information is available anytime you ask for it, you probably won't. That's true. Especially if you aren't really interested in the subject. That was per usual when it comes to school. I think people said the same things about Google too. So, I agree with you there. But I feel like there's ways to like overcome it and manage it and that sort of thing too. Man, this really freaks me out. Like, a lot. Like, a lot. Ugh. Oh my gosh. I really don't know how to feel about it either. Like, it makes sense. A Skynet will be coming for us any day now. Oh. Well, my thing is that, and this is gonna sound batshit to people who aren't really into like linguistics or whatever. And I'm not an expert in linguistics, but it's something that I guess I am studying, so, and I help teach, so that's kind of a vibe. But when you're exposed to more languages and you're exposed to a lot more different cultures, you learn that the way language operates really influences how people interact with one another. So, like in America, a lot of our language is very individual like focused, and there's a big separation between, I don't know, like people, because you can make things like singular and plural and stuff like that. Instead of it being implied, you can just like have it be within the word. And that sounds really weird, but not every language has it built into the word like that, where you have multiple just there and you could just be like, oh, cookies instead of cookie. A lot of languages you have to say, I have X amount of cookies, I have one cookie, or blah blah blah. Gender is another really good example where people will like in certain languages, gender is really, really important. And you'll see that in the culture because the language is like very gendered. Like in Arabic, depending on how you're speaking to someone, like you would have to say like ladeki would be like she has, or like if you're talking to a woman, like you have. Ladaika, that would be like he has or he has or whatever. And then for multiple, it'd be like something else, you know? I'm still learning. But gender is really, really important, and there's only two genders that are normally represented, like very masculine or very feminine. But English as a language doesn't include that as much, so people don't have to rely upon it as much socially, and you're able to like do more things. So I'm curious if different language learning models, depending on the language that they're built off of and they operate under normally, if that could influence anything, or if it's just like a human behavior thing too. That's the thing that I've been wondering. But I feel like it's across any end of the spectrum, people being able to take care of themselves and like stay alive and self-preservation is very deeply ingrained into like all of humanity. It doesn't matter what language you speak or whatever you do. I don't know. Very interesting to me. And I've been thinking about this stuff for a long, long time. But people tell on themselves with their language all the time. But learning other languages is hard because you can't, like, at least for me, it's like all of the stuff I rely on to understand what someone means and like see if someone's trustworthy or not is like gone. And it's so fun. You're just kind of like floating in the ethers, like, what's gonna happen next? But I guess it's all like coded with a different language or whatever, but you know what I mean. Maybe you don't, I don't know. But I do have a lot of feelings about this too. I think that the idea that we can control AI or get it to do a specific thing doesn't really exist. Because a language learning model isn't as conditional as like it was talking about before, like a database or whatever, which would be like what Google, well, similar to what Google is. So, I don't know, like traditional database style, like modeling, where you can be like if then kind of esque statements, kind of. But with language learning models, you're kind of training it to come up with its own interpretation of a lot of stuff. IFTTT. It's just it's honestly kind of wild to me. I don't know. IFTT is no longer free or whatever. Anyways, I got distracted. If this, then that. Yeah. I was like, wait, what the heck? But yeah. AI doesn't run like that. And a lot of people, they're like, oh, you can just say, like, if this situation occurs, you can get rid of it. And this is what people think with the whole case in California, where, like, people are going to easily be able to tell AI, like, oh, if someone talks about, like, suicidal ideation or whatever, then you're not allowed to speak about it whatsoever. But it doesn't really work because people constantly come up with new slang to override the older things that are being censored. And if AI is able to pull from a lot of data like social media, posts, and that sort of thing, which ChatGPT is, I think a lot of different AIs are too, like the Meta AI or whatever. I don't know. I'm most educated on ChatGPT. But because they can pull from like infinite content, they're able to keep up with the pace of the people who are creating the content and the consumer when they comment and stuff like that to like switch out the lingo. So you can just bypass it. Mark says, and there's and there's been very well documented cases of jailbreaking AIs too. Yeah, that kind of freaks me out a bit. But I get it. My question is like, how could you prevent the jailbreaking from happening? Remember when you said you were gonna go to bed? I was like, I don't know. It's harder. It's not like it's just harder to monitor. I get fun dip. This is like my third fun dip today. Probably should not have any more fun dip after this. But that's okay, guys. It's okay. Mark says, what I wonder is how far it'll go. Thus far, companies usually just replace customer service with AI agents. What happens when governments want to cut costs in the same way? I do think it's going to become very well ingrained into our government. Probably not America initially. I think it's going to be poorer countries that start relying on it more initially. And I think that's where it's going to be tested out. And there's going to be set kind of like software dedicated to each governance style or whatever. But you can make a lot of fucking money on that. Because people, especially with a smaller government or a poorer government, they're going to need to rely a lot more heavily on external companies that do have a lot of money, like Google or OpenAI or whatever, like some other company, right? That is super big and probably richer than the country itself. They won't be able to be like, hey, we'll be able to run everything on our own or whatever. They're going to have to rely on that company to maintain its integrity or whatever. And, you know, they'll have to pay through it. And that can get really dangerous because obviously then those companies are going to have a lot of power. Or a government will have to come up with their own AI, which under capitalism is laughable. And say that you have law enforcement largely automated using AI and self-preservation kicks in. Yeah. Mark says, yeah, most entities can't run their own AI stack since COD and Coup will exceed ROI. That's true. COD and Coup. It is true, though. It's like you don't get a lot of money back from it. You're just going to prevent yourself from spending more money in the long run. But still, cost of deployment, cost of operations, ROI, I think you know. Yeah. COD and Coup. But you can't say like Rui. Rui doesn't have like a little thing to it. But anyways, yeah. It's very layered. And I think that we're headed in that direction. But Roy, I guess you could do Roy. Yeah, Roy would make sense. Damn, I wish I thought of that sooner. Oh well, you just everyone named Roy. I don't know a lot of Roys actually. But back to what we were talking about. Does it clang at all? Damn it. It's okay, I allowed it. I don't know. But yeah, no, it is inherently expensive. And I think a lot of larger companies are going to take advantage of smaller company or countries that are struggling. Like friggin' Venezuela, or I think there's been stuff happening in Morocco or whatever. Like you could not the same like whole scale level. Maybe the Philippines would be like a better example. But there's been lots of mass protests and stuff like that. And in some cases the governments have been like completely they've been changing over quite a bit. And I think there's already an AI representative or someone that is AI in a government. Boom. I think there is one country that has like AI that's replacing something, but I can't remember what it is. Anyways, I'll look into that later. Mark says, we're doing the AI rat race right now, and our company is with investing in our own hardware. It ain't cheap. Nope. Mark says, I think it was like 200K or something for a single chassis, which itself will draw like 300 kilowatts. Holy shit. And you're European, so that shit's expensive. Power is really expensive for you. No, not 300 kilowatts. What is it? Oh, 300,000. Oh, 3,000 watts. Okay, okay. I was like, damn. What the fuck? I didn't even get that one. Kilo is 1,000. Oh. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. I'm just an American. 3,000 watts. I was like, holy shit, that's like a lot. That's still a lot. Holy crap. Yeah, we have KW in the US too. There's no freedom units of power. I know. I'm not good with power work. I really am not. I'm actually afraid of doing electrical work. I follow directions when it comes to electrical work, and that's about it. I don't build a lot of things where I need to, like, pay attention to it. Like, the most I worry about is what light bulbs I'm supposed to use and which power supply I'm supposed to have for my computer. And car stuff, too. But that's it. I am illiterate when it comes to power stuff. Well, for the most part. The easy bits. I know. I don't really mess with it that much because it just kind of stresses me out. But AI is inherently scary. Hey, you. Hello.
Hi.
Can you get my Pellegrino?
You want a Pellegrino?
Yeah, it's in the fridge. Hello.
You want me to put another one in?
Yes, please. Mark says just build some projects using Arduinos and you'll be up to speed in no time. I know.
Fizzy.
I had one fizzy.
I know. Dude, was it today?
Yeah, I just had it.
The fizzy god.
I am like addicted, y'all. I can't help it. I cannot help it. I'm crazy for it. But yeah, no, I've done some projects with Arduinos because I did robotics stuff, you know? But I was better with the code than like the actual like assembling the power like translation or whatever. I was in like robotics classes in high school. My high school had some. I took robotics and Python classes, and then most of the other code and language stuff I learned was later on. But so some of the Arduino stuff, I know Python AI ready. I'm not good at it, yo. I could be. If I like really worked at it and started getting back in the field, I think I'd be okay. But it's like I hate coding. I fucking hate coding. The thing is I know I'm good at the technical shit. Like because people are like, "Oh, you're good at it." And like every job I've had that's like tech related or whatever, I climb the ranks pretty okay. Not like the fastest or whatever, but I'm pretty like I just keep going. Because like I like to fine tune shit and then I get really good at the specialized thing I'm doing and I just keep using that to like as like leverage to just keep building. But that leaves a lot of blank spaces in some aspects, so yeah, I don't know. That's why I've just been doing car stuff because car stuff is fun. You get to do like a little bit of the tinkering and then you get to stop. You don't have to go like that deep into it. It's not something where you're like, ooh. Yeah. And the market right now is so ridiculous, but yeah, I know. Everyone's like, Python is so useful, Python's so great. And it was a very useful language to learn. I hate it. Mark says, yeah, but if you stop mid-changing brakes, you can't drive. I know. I really need to commit more to coding if I want to get better with it. But then I got really interested in like talking languages. So now I'm doing Arabic and then Japanese. I'm okay-ish with Spanish. I just know the basics of a couple of languages. So I guess I can technically speak 3 languages, but I run out of bandwidth. And I don't know what some of them, so I don't like talking. I just like to listen. I should pick up my languages. You should. It like scratches the same itch that like computer and tech work does, and it's not as expensive. That's the thing. I feel like I've lost my spoken English and Finnish these days. Yeah. That's how I am with Arabic. Like with Spanish, I just don't speak to a lot of people. But like I understand what people are telling me and I can read it for the most part. But slang I struggle with. And then when people ask me to like talk to them, I get really anxious because I have anxiety. And then I'm just like, yeah. You just gotta like, I don't know, like you were saying, talk to ChatGPT. Because that's apparently what everyone does now. And low-key, I might have to, I don't know if I am going to do it or not. It makes me feel bad. Because it's like, it's very wasteful and stuff like that. But for my work, well, my volunteer work is, well, the teaching stuff that I do, it's important. Mark says, yeah, basically the same. It's hard to speak to people in foreign languages when you don't like to talk to people in the first place. Yeah. Exactly. Like, I can do the English stuff because I had years, like, it's my native language, but I have years and years and years and years and years of troubleshooting where, like, I can talk to people, and I think this is, like, a little bit, but I can, like, talk to people, and they understand me and what I'm saying for the most part, but, I don't know. It's like I really struggle with English mainly because I don't like talking to people and I hyper focus on what people tell me, the way they say things, the sentence structure of how they say things. And I've been able to like fine tune and understand like, oh, if they're saying this, they mean this. If they're saying this, they mean this. And other languages stress me out because I'm not as fluent in that. And it took me a really long time. Like when I was growing up, no, there'd be a lot of things that people say. It would just go straight over my head. I just would not understand half the things that they were saying. And it was hard. It was really hard. And now that I'm learning a whole other language, I'm just like, whoa, whoa. And I feel like I'm just like preaching to the choir. Like, you probably already know this. You probably already know. But yeah, it can be a little exhausting. So it's like, but it's really fun. It's like, it makes me less anxious with English. And I'm like, oh, no, I get this. And then, it's slow progress. Just start talking to people on, like, the Discord. Discord's really helpful. In my opinion. I low-key really want to play Hollow Knight. We kind of talked through a lot of stuff. Wait, we actually didn't. Okay, I need, like, an AI here. AI. Oh no, I wanted to talk about like who is Antifa and stuff like that, but we've kind of already covered that too. Work says, yeah, I've had such a hard time motivating myself to talk to people. Same. It can be really hard. Like, I have to talk to people for my job, but I'm a people person too. So like if I don't interact with people enough, I get really sad and like depressed. So I'm just like, Mark says, I never even speak more than I absolutely have to when I play games. True. I don't even talk. Like, I'll be gaming with, like, a group of people. We'll all be in Discord. And then, usually you'll have to add extra players to fill the slots. Sometimes everyone will be talking. And I'll just mute myself. And I'll, like, be in Discord. I'll be like, tell them this. And they're like, just go on PC. And I'm like, tell them this for me. Like, ask them this for me, please. Mark says, just because I know my English is so fucked right now. I feel like it's not as bad as you think it is, honestly. 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 You can just teach people English. That's that'll help you a lot. Or not English, but oh, Swedish. You speak Swedish, right? Or am I being really insensitive? I don't know. Man, I'm so tired today. Probably not. I can definitely make myself understood, but the accent is absolutely horrible. Yeah, it's fair. Yeah, it's Swedish. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. I was like, I'm pretty sure you're from Sweden, or I'm being very rude right now. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I've been thinking about it a lot. I do like. It's so cheesy. But, every day for the most part, I sit there and I write down a whole page worth of review in the language that I'm doing. So, like, akhiran is like finally. Mu, no, ma'asif, ma'alasif, ma'alasif. I think that means unfortunately. Kalamani, talk to me. Aswad, black. Aktar, green. Aktar, abyad, white. Asfar, yellow. Mushihitu, you watch. Mushihitu, I watch. Talib, student. Like, it's really been helpful just to write it down. And then I literally, like, I'm not even fucking joking with you. I write it down 10 times. And then my notebook, I've almost filled like a quarter of it now. Just with like doing that. And you can see like where I've progressed pretty well. You can see where I started with like the alphabet. And then I have like 5 pages of that. And then there's like tanweens, sharaz, vowels. Tanween is like, it's just how you write things or whatever. And then urid, dalik, ta'alam. Like, want to learn it. I've just been learning lots of different things. There are numbers. I wrote down the numbers just over and over and over again. Sifir, wahid, itnan. Mark says, oh, it's like those small glossary books we had in school when I was a kid, you know, after the Ice Age, bruh. Yeah. Yeah. Antakawi means like you're strong. Alobu Kaldem is like Alobu Kaldem, that's like love is coming, you know. Like a Gopik. Satalam? I don't know. I'm not always the best at like writing everything down. Kulishe, Bahar or whatever. Oh, Bahar. Kulishe Bahar. Everything. Bahar. We had to get driving license for the computer, I remember, and everyone got their own floppy disk. Bruh, you're joking. Thumbs up. It's Arabic for you're joking. You're absolutely not, bro. Anyways. Crazy. And none of the computers in school had internet? Yo. That's a different time, man. It's a whole different time. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's really nice. It was cool to like go through all that. It made me feel a lot more motivated. Yeah, it was a 99 2000-ish. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, I don't remember a lot from that time period because I was really young. I was tiny. Tiny, tiny. Oh, I'm so tired. Ugh. Do y'all want to talk about what Antifa is? I feel like there's a video about Antifa. Sleeping early just went out the window. Yeah, I kind of fucked you. I'm sorry. Well, sorry. I fucked you over. English is my first language, okay? Okay, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. We could watch, like, I honestly want to watch Antifa stuff right now. That's what I was like, I was gonna do my research on my own time. But so many people. Holy moly, chat. I'm so tired. I apologize. I could eat more popcorn, but I don't think that's really gonna help me any. Look, it's a flower now. Do you know what this is? This is called a dahlia. A dahlia. Do you want to watch an Antifa video? You're gonna see yourself to bed? Ah. Okay. I mean, Philosophy 2 did a good video on it. Oh, whoa. This is an old one. Wait, really? Are they? Sorry, I'm just like. I'm reading the comments. Is this like an okay video to like do? I don't know. I don't know if I should do this or not. I mean, I feel like it's okay. I feel like it's okay. It's okay. So, I didn't know the girl from Philosophy 2 was trans. The more you know. I feel a little bad, but like, is it okay to post that content? Otherwise, I won't fix that goddamn garage thingy. Oh, fair. Fair. I mean, I'm not gonna judge you, honestly. I'll just be all by my lonesome. All by myself. But it's okay. Sometimes it's like that. Oh, there you go. We'll watch this together. Oh, feels kind of crazy. But good luck. Good luck.
We think of violence and chaos. We think of characters like the Joker, V, and Discord. But
I
anarchism
trust you'll manage
is
on
actually
your
a
own.
very broad school of
Maybe I
theoretical
won't.
and practical commitments. A lot of people
Have
think
they
it's about
redone
resisting
this?
government, but even that is just one facet of it. Schools and education, economics, theatre, art, religion and spirituality, sexuality, linguistics, history,
I just always
sociology,
feel bad,
ecology and
like,
our relationship to the environment, defense policy, Marxism. It's possible to
I'll be
approach
okay.
all of these and
They left it up, so I
more
feel like it's okay
through
for
the
us to
lens
react
of
to it.
anarchism. Which is why if you scroll down to my comments section right now, you'll probably see a lot of people in there going, oh, why didn't you mention this person or this theory? Anarchists are like fish, and anarchist theory is like the ocean. Fish
It's
live
true.
in and move through the ocean, they have that in common, but there are lots of different kinds of fish, and they have lots of different kinds of
Yes.
behavior. And
This is just a
sometimes
short
other
little, like,
animals take a
synopsis
dip in
of
the
stuff.
sea and share a little bit of space with the fish too. There's also a common myth that anarchists are egoistic, focused on the individual, sometimes even to a selfish extent. And some anarchists are egoistic. Max Stirner, for instance, said that the individual should be placed under no external constraints, that all forms of government, even morality and family, were despotic. But some anarchists take a much more community-minded focus, especially because in the last 50 years, anarchism has hugely changed, both theoretically and practically. The philosopher David Morland says that although there's lots of different kinds of anarchism, the common theme, both of the anti-government kind and all the other kinds, is resisting power. He writes,
It's okay.
anarchists, whether old or new, are united in their belief that power
says
should, wherever
hi.
possible, be uprooted and eliminated. That's why anarchism is so broad and various. Part of the legacy of post-structuralism was that people realised there's lots of different kinds of power, and power works in various different overlapping and intersecting ways. And anarchism, to its credit, totally rolled with that, and said that if there's lots of different kinds of power, there'll be lots of different ways of resisting it. The variety
fair.
of power also explains why different anarchist groups sometimes use very different tactics, and sometimes even disagree with each other about what the best tactics to use are. Speaking of tactics, one thing that's become important to a lot of modern anarchists is praxis. Praxis means putting the theory
Bixby
into
says
action,
hi.
walking the walk, as well as just talking the talk. That's why a lot of anarchist groups put a focus on direct action,
I love her.
protest, and demonstration. So an anarchist approach to a problem might be, let's not just sit around and talk about how good it would be to be environmentally friendly. Let's build a garage and start converting our cars to run on biofuel. Let's not just write an article about how it sucks that women's shelters are being closed down. Let's squat in an abandoned house and build a women's shelter of our own.
Oh, people are
The
still
author
squatting
and
like that
political
too, by the
theorist
way.
Mo Bookchin wrote,
It's just not
"There
as
can be
common
no
here in
separation of the revolutionary
America
process
as it is in
from the
Europe.
revolutionary goal." Praxis is important to a lot of different groups, not just anarchists. Professor Sarah Ahmed's resignation from Goldsmiths University over that institution's failure to address endemic sexual harassment of students is an example of feminist praxis. Starting a YouTube channel to give away free education when the government tripled tuition fees is, I guess, an example of some kind of praxis. Anarchists don't have a monopoly.
That's why
on
she
this
started her
idea.
channel.
Remember, big ocean, a lot of different kinds of things sharing it. But as you read modern anarchist writers, you'll find that they have an eye on how they can build the change they want to see in the world. Okay, so for anarchists, there's a focus on resisting power and doing more than just talking about it. But why? Why resist power? Well, what is power? We mentioned before there are lots of different kinds of it, so what's the one theme that power has in common? Political scientist Michael Taylor says that power is the ability to alter the range of someone's available actions, to expand or to limit somebody's options. So for instance, if I'm the government, I can pass laws that limit your options, or I can repeal laws and extend your options. Parents
True.
expand or limit the options of their children. That's another kind of power. Your boss probably expands or limits your choices in terms of when you're allowed to turn up at work and when you're allowed to leave. If you injure somebody or kill them, you exercise power over their choices in terms of how they can use their body. If you commit hate
That's
speech,
true.
you limit somebody's options in terms of how they are seen in public and maybe even how they see themselves. All different kinds of power, all to do with altering somebody's available choices. There's an inseparable relationship between power and violence. Violence is much more than just being punched in the face. Like with power, there's lots of different kinds of violence. The Norwegian sociologist Johan Galtung says that violence is the force that limits people's options. PBS Idea Channel did a great video on violence a while ago in which Mike says that to inflict violence is to remove an agent's choice. Whether it's the direct violence of a punch to the face or the structural violence of buying life-saving medicine and raising the price so that people can't afford it and they die. Violence is what boxes people in. We see the relationship between power and violence played out in politics. Some people say violence has no place in politics, but actually, violence occupies every place in politics. If you choose not to obey the laws of your country, sooner or later you will be confronted by the direct violence of the police and the structural violence of the penal system. Governments maintain their sovereignty against invasion and revolution with the direct violence of the armed services. National borders are maintained through the direct violence of arrests and detention centres and the structural violence of fences and walls. Economic growth is sustained through the structural violence of capitalism. Violence absolutely saturates politics. The entire point of a government is to distribute, manage, legitimize, and maintain a monopoly on violence. The French philosopher Michel Foucault said that politics is just the continuation of war by other means. So if violence is the removal of choice, and power is the ability to expand or limit someone's choices, then violence is at least half of all power. To the anarchist, then, power is just the ability to inflict violence on you. Far from itself being violent, anarchism could be seen as the philosophy that resists violence the most. Although, like I said before, some anarchists disagree about tactics and praxis. A lot of anarchists focus on government power because that's one of the most visible kinds, but it's not the only one. Just as a coral reef is one very interesting ocean environment, but it's not the only place you find fish. Remember, theory is a big ocean. Lots of different kinds of things living in it. You can take direct action to prevent the violence of me being evicted from my flat for not paying the rent at patreon.com/philosophy. If you want to help me give away free education, I could really use.
Anyways, I hope that was a little bit helpful, because a lot of people think that Antifa and anarchy are the same thing when they are in fact not. They're actually very, very different. And let's go to, I bet a lot of people have talked about like Antifa and that sort of thing. There's a Jubilee video, but just like lots of different topics like anarchism and stuff like that, there's many different aspects of Antifa and that sort of thing. Antifa obviously started as a resistance against a lot of things that were happening in World War I, World War II era, where fascism was becoming more and more prominent, especially during World War II. And nowadays people equate fascism to many, many different things. Just basically all overarching regimes of a government or governance. I guess North Korea could be considered like semi-fascist or partially fascist. Russia could also be considered like an oligarchy with like fascist undertones, and its definitions are complicated, and there's many, many, many different ways to get to the same conclusion with different definitions of different things. So let's see. I'm gonna be sure I saved that video because that was like really nice. Oh well. I have another one that's like pretty okay, but this is more of like just a Jubilee thing, and Jubilee is, as we know, it's pretty hit or miss sometimes. But
say
we can watch this one together.
Antifa or even yourself think that violence is justified to achieve these goals?
Sorry, we got Bixby hair in my nose.
Yes.
Almost all of the people protesting against the Nazis and Klansmen in Charlottesville were peaceful, but not all of them.
Do you ever get tired of hiding your identity?
What are your thoughts on peaceful protests?
What's the most extreme thing you've done?
And this is just one person, by the way.
I have been involved in anti-fascist organizing and activism for 10 years now, I suppose. I don't think that any person can speak on behalf of a group. So I'm not speaking on behalf of like Antifa as such. I'm speaking on behalf of sort of myself as someone who is anti-fascist.
Good disclaimer.
Hi, I'm Emily.
Hi, Emily. I'm Casper.
Like the friendly ghost?
Like the friendly ghost.
Love that.
This is my first time hearing about Antifa. What is it?
Antifa is shorthand for anti-fascist, and that sort of includes the gamut of the bad isms, so anti-racism, anti-transphobia, anti-Islamophobia, anti-sexism. But I think another core tenet of it is probably also anti-capitalism.
Do you consider yourself an organization?
No. Antifa is not anything remotely close to an organization. It's sort of decentralized and autonomous. And what I mean by that is like, there's no central decision-making body. In fact, there is no center.
What do you define a fascist as?
Someone whose political beliefs and values and the world they're trying to create is one of hierarchy and racialized domination, nationalistic domination, and xenophobia. And not everybody from any specific group shares exactly the same principles, but
right now, from my perspective,
That's very
Antifa
important
is
to
being
understand.
portrayed as like government enemy number one, right? Like, oh, Antifa is going against America. Antifa is destroying the American.
Keep in mind, this was made a
philosophy, I
couple
guess,
years
the
ago
way of
too.
life.
Maybe you feel like this is like a good thing. Like you guys want to be known as like big, top, violent, extreme dogs. I don't know. You tell me.
yeah, totally. I think nowadays what it is has been largely defined by the media. You can't see me, but I'm wearing like full black bloc. I'm wearing all black. I have a black balaclava on, and I think like that is what Antifa oftentimes means. This militant, black-clad protester.
Do you ever get tired of hiding your
I do want to pause, and that's why with a lot of the protests that are going on against ICE, a lot of people are, or you know, against like the occupation, or at least the attempt of an occupation of Chicago by like the federal government and the whole Texas thing or whatever, the Texas troops. A lot of people are starting to dress up in not all black because they don't want it to have that image. So there's like a huge frog like costume thing that's become more popular at protests. People are dressing up as like unicorns and stuff like that, just inflatable costumes. So it's less like, it's not as easy to demonize the message because it's people who have like ideas and stuff like that, not just like some mysterious like all black scary figure.
It's kind of fun, actually. Putting on a matching outfit with like dozens of other people in a street protest, everyone just becomes a part of this like moving organism where you can sort of do anything and be anyone you want
super well.
and not face the consequences
In that
of
sense.
those actions, right? You know, no face, no case is sort of this term that gets thrown around a lot.
So I guess that's interesting because like with this belief, do you think it allows people to be more violent without consequences?
Sure. I mean, it makes it more possible to use violence to achieve my means or something like that, because I know deep down in my heart and in my soul that it has to be done.
Would you say Antifa or even yourself think that violence is justified to achieve these goals?
Yes. Violence has been a part of what it means to be a human being. The world that we live in today with all the bombs and all the guns and all the starving people and the pollution, these are all different types of like violences or something that are happening
This is
in
what
the
we
world.
were just learning about.
For violence is sort of like that which has been taken from us and concentrated in the hands of the police.
So you're against the police, like no police?
Fundamentally, yes. One of the most memorable experiences of my life was like watching the 3rd Precinct burn to the ground in Minneapolis during the George Floyd uprising. And that was the first time in American history that that's ever happened. And within days, hundreds or thousands of police cars across the country were like on fire.
You don't think that kind of causes more fear and irrationalization? Wouldn't that be against what you are for, which is like a world where everyone can kind of come together, be, you know, peaceful?
Like, I think the police sort of serve 3 primary functions. One is like to uphold racialized white supremacy, protect the interests of the capitalist ruling class, and the third is to like prevent social movements from being able to change anything.
So then if like I'm in my house, someone breaks in and
But-
like I'm in my closet.
But like we were talking about before, I really wanted to show you that anarchism video because what he's talking about is more related to anarchy rather than it being related to Antifa. Antifa and anarchism are 2 different belief systems and concepts. So Antifa just means anti-fascist. That's all the movement is. It's literally, that's the overarching thing. Literally, people who fought in World War II against like the occupying powers or like the Nazis or whatever, those were all very proudly anti-fascist. Like anti-fascism, you can be pro-capitalism and still be anti-fascist, if that makes sense. So this is straying more into the anarchism sort of side of things, and that's why I wanted to show you that video first, so you guys could get like a basis understanding of the difference. So I could point it out
My
easier.
bathroom. Like, who do I call?
Hopefully not the cops, because they don't really seem to help with that much. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question. I think there's like a million different solutions. What do we do when harm happens in our community? What do we do when people are committing wrongdoings or whatever? And I think the answer to that is like a million different things, but definitely not the police.
Hey Claire.
Hey Jingy.
Are you enjoying our Ask Me Anything series?
I am. And if you are too, like and subscribe for
I'm not
more
gonna like
videos
the
like
video.
this.
I'm gonna
Now,
ignore the
let's get
video.
back into the video.
Have you ever broke anything?
Yes.
What?
I mean,
window.
He's like, what's gonna
I'm
get
trying
me in
to debate
trouble,
on
bro?
whether or not I should even talk about these sorts of things.
What's the most extreme thing you've done?
Some of the most intense experiences of my life were the resistance against Milo Yiannopoulos in Oakland, who was a right-wing grifter trying to give some public talk that was shut down by anti-fascists.
Like you tried to stop him from talking, or?
Yeah, something to that effect, trying to basically create such a scene that the whole event has to be shut down.
So I guess it's fair to say you don't believe in free speech?
Well, I don't think that everybody has an equal microphone, per se. The sort of abstract notion of free speech is less important to me than the content of what's being shared. And if what's being shared is calls to violence and
this is also not necessarily like Antifa, this is personal perspective.
So-called free speech.
And the video frames it to be equivalent, but it's not.
Hell yeah. Yes, absolutely. We should not cede an inch to those bastards, and when they have the gall to step out of their mom's basement or whatever, we do not give them space in our communities to share their disgusting and toxic and unforgivable opinions.
What are your thoughts on peaceful protests? Do you believe in it?
I think a lot of the sort of like proper channels of change, working within the system, like begging the people in power to make a decision that doesn't, fuck everybody over. A lot of that stuff is really degrading. So we're begging them to change the world when really we're the ones, us, you, the person watching this YouTube video, are the ones who have the power to change the world.
What's something you wish people knew about you?
Wow, no one's ever asked me that question before. I'm looking for love in the world, like in all sorts of forms. Love is the fucking answer, like loving each other, loving ourselves, loving the world. And obviously it's not always, like the world's a sad place sometimes.
I didn't expect you to say you were looking for love in the world. For some reason that made me emotional for a second. I guess I'm wondering, like, how do you reconcile the two, talking about love a lot, but then also being part of a group that condones violence? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a heavy question. Thanks. The world is becoming increasingly uninhabitable. Targeted communities just continue to be targeted. Racialized violence happening in the world, gendered violence. And for love to be able to truly proliferate in this world, so many of these systems need to be torn down, and so many new ones need to pop up in their place. And I don't know what those new ones are. I don't have an answer for everything, but I know that the way that this world is right now is just not conducive to love.
How do you engage with individuals
So, if you guys don't recall, at the beginning of the video, they were like, is Antifa a set organization or an organized group? And he said, no. Like, he said, no, it is not an organized group. It's basically like a motto, a belief system that we shouldn't have fascism, like it shouldn't exist. So when she asked, what are you part of how do you feel about being part of a group that's like violent? It is not the implication that Antifa is the violent group. It is the other groups that he has been a part of that has participated in violence. And that's why I think this video, because I watched it when it first came out, but that's like a big criticism that I have of videos that discuss Antifa or do interview work about Antifa. The person who is being asked the questions isn't explicitly stating the differences of the organization and the belief system and his personal beliefs. because he is educated enough to understand that it is implied, but the overall audience who is consuming the content does not understand that difference. And that's a really big problem that we have when it comes to Antifa media literacy, and why the Trump organization and a lot of government agencies and stuff like that outside of MAGA have been very like anti-Antifa, like really like trying to equate it to anarchism when it is definitely not the same thing. Like if you go back to like 30 years ago, Antifa and the government were both on the same team, like very much throughout the entire, like all for a very long time, because fascism was a very big discussion during the Cold War. It was a very big discussion after the Cold War, and it was a thing that was leveraged during the Reagan era too. So it's not, it's something where it's now being used against the people.
Don't see eye to
And
eye
it's being
with
framed
Antifa
improperly.
Or have a very
I'll rewind a little
reaction.
bit.
How do you engage with individuals who don't see eye to eye with Antifa or have a very violent reaction to the words?
That is a very good question. I think it's one that people have been trying to answer for a long time. How do we communicate across difference? Another reason why I don't always think showing up in full black bloc garb is the most strategic is because it makes people assume a lot about you.
Yeah.
I put on this mask like less than 1% of the time or something, you know?
Oh, really?
And so many of us are doing so many different types of community organizing work. There's so much more to like building an anti-fascist world than just fighting against fascists.
What is something that you love about yourself?
But one thing I love about myself is that I care. I care about things. My heart gets warmed when I see people in contact with their capacity to be however they want to be in the world, to do whatever they want to do in the world. I'm trying to do that too, you know, I'm trying to come into contact with my source energy or whatever to self-actualize, and it's a really hard, it's fucking hard.
Yeah, I appreciate your answers. It seems like you really took some time to think about some of those.
I may not agree with like everything you stand for, but I think I agree like for the most part, like just being like a liberal person. I think we both can say that we want the world to be like a better place.
I'm not a person with like very strong political views. My beliefs are do whatever makes you happy as long as it doesn't hurt other people or yourself. Everybody can be happy without harming others at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You're a decent human being and a cool guy.
Well, thanks.
Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Right.
Casper the Friendly Ghost. But I hope this kind of like gave you guys a bit more of an understanding of like what Antifa is, just the differences. I feel like there's lots more content that we could go over to. Lots and lots of other videos. But this is something that I've been watching for a long time. Like this video was released 2 years ago. Like yeah. A lot of the comments are like, I'm genuinely confused. Isn't everyone supposed to be anti-fascist, that sort of thing? Here's another video, which I feel like would be pretty good for us to watch. It's a Vice video. It's about 4 years old, but I really want to kind of like dive into how the perspective and the narrative has changed with Antifa. I'm not super into Vice. I think they have some decent journalism stuff that they've done, but I also think that a lot of what they can do can be like very propaganda focused, but you know, most organizations are like that. Honestly, it's kind of sad. But we have another one. This is just how I dive into stuff for anybody who don't know. And this was made 4 years ago.
Cable news. They are the most salacious clips, and oftentimes they are a very
And during the protests.
Everybody just wants to rip each other apart, watch it on TV.
A lot of people think that we're like burning our city down and we're rioting and destroying everything. I mean, I think there's some level of truth to that.
I asked them, do you plan on getting sprayed? We might be ready to protest right now. We don't need no helmets. We don't need no goggles.
That
mayhem and that chaos is keeping people in fear. That is terrorism in the city of Portland.
Do you feel threatened right now?
Vaping illness blamed for
Bruh.
Antifa is murder hornet panic against cigarettes and must parents down.
As clickbait headlines warp our view of the world, we're going down the rabbit hole to ask, how afraid should we really be? On this episode, the media's favorite boogeyman, Antifa.
They've been terrorizing people, and when they can get away with it, violently attacking people.
They're essentially Bolsheviks.
Trump has vowed to label Antifa a terrorist organization.
They are not misguided freedom fighters or teenagers. They are actually organized.
I've been watching the coverage. Mobs of people in black burning down and terrorizing cities. Right-wing media loves to call them thugs, and the president tweeted he wanted to designate them a terrorist organization.
Yep.
But is this really a mass
Throwback.
conspiracy of organized crazy leftists? Strapping in for our rabbit hole plunge, I first connected with a terrorist expert.
Would you consider a group like Antifa a terrorist group?
Well, I mean, that's a loaded question because, first of all, we're asking, is it a group? It's a pretty amorphous kind of movement. Generally speaking, people self-identify as being Antifa. There's no command and control structure. You know, there's a difference between civil unrest and terrorism in that terrorism is a premeditated and also systematic act. So if we're talking about the protests in the US right now, whether they're Antifa or not, there's little evidence that this has really been kind of a targeted, premeditated thing. A lot of the time it's been kind of demonstrations that have deteriorated into unrest.
Still a bit confused, I started to search for Antifa. I touched down in the anarchist jurisdiction in Portland, Oregon, looking for alleged members of Antifa that had
Anarchist,
been
which is
rioting for
different
3
than
months straight.
Antifa. Just so you
We
guys
decided
know.
to scope out the scene our first night. We walked with the group
Just like
what I
what we
thought
mentioned
might be
before.
Antifa to an ICE facility, where things quickly took a chaotic turn as they started to vandalize the structure.
Shit, it's about to go down. Uh-oh, we got another glass break. Okay. I don't know where these cops came from, but they just pushed everybody back. Right now, it's just kind of a standstill. It's kind of like a face-off. How often does this happen? Every night? Every night, all fucking night. So this is happening every night.
Different neighborhoods, but every night.
Are you out here all the time? Or are you?
Every night.
Every night. But see, not everyone's in all black and like super scary. It was a different vibe back then.
First
too.
night was quite the welcome
For
party.
sure.
The next day I met up with Jamal Williams, a local activist, to break this down for me.
First of all, let's just keep it plain, right? You and I might be ready to protest right now. We don't need no helmets. We don't need no goggles, right? Like, that's a touchy thing, right? Because I'm preaching nonviolence. Let's go to the building, but don't nobody set any fires. And I'm not the one to tell people how to protest. I'm only one person. The whole situation would have changed had the police chief come downstairs the first night and said, you know what, we're with you. Instead, they came out with the riot gear like, shut up.
True.
And then they shot those people who weren't doing anything.
Yep.
Law enforcement and federal agents in the city have come under fire for their aggressive tactics used on protesters and mobs, often labeled Antifa.
This happened
These groups
all
dressed in
over
black
the
come
United
geared up,
States
prepared
too.
for direct confrontations with police.
So you guys
But how many of these people
remember.
are Antifa? Who is Antifa?
I don't know if I've ever even really spoken to one because nobody's just came up and identified themselves as, hey man, I'm from the Antifa squad or whatever. So I don't know about all of that. And I'm not speaking against Antifa. I'm speaking against fires in the name of Black Lives Matter, though.
Yeah. Hi there.
Excuse me, they're not going to do more of that tonight, are they?
What?
Sorry? More of the demonstrations? We're not sure what's going to happen tonight. I should go buy a gun.
Oh my god.
I think, yeah, if you want to, it's your right.
She just,
she probably lives around here, and the protest she probably doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And so she said, now I'm gonna go buy a gun. And that's what she said. She said, I should go buy a gun.
Yeah.
And that's a real feeling. You can't discount that feeling. You
Right.
can't say her feelings don't matter,
Yeah.
True.
right? Her life matters too.
Yeah.
Yeah, her life matters too. So much so that she feels like she needs to go buy a gun, right? Now, I wonder how long black people been feeling like that, like how she felt. That was just one night.
After 80 plus days of constant protesting, it's no surprise some folks here feel afraid. Undeterred, I showed up at the protest that evening, hoping to finally meet someone from Antifa. As we caught up with them, however, it looked like a totally different crowd. Gone were the tactical shields, and instead there were distinct leaders moving the group through a neighborhood.
I also think it's important to know that in protests that are more decentralized, there's usually people who kind of take the position of leadership where they start leading the crowds and doing things. And sometimes these are people who have background within the community, and sometimes they're people who they just show initiative, have a more understanding of the lay of the land, and people just kind of follow through because they have that aura of authority. And some people have it and some people don't. But usually it is someone within the community that a large part of the people who are towards the front just trust, and they kind of lead everything. And that can also alternate throughout the night or the day or however long the protest is.
So we were at a protest yesterday, and that ended in a riot. This kind of shows a range of the different protests here in Portland, right? So what's this range look like?
There's no right way to protest. Everyone has their way of protesting, but for every protest you have, it's about constant pressure.
Our way, a lot of times, it's just causing a disturbance. We like to be loud and fuck with people, like, I don't know, like put some flashlights in their houses or something, call out white people on the streets who aren't protesting with us, and tell people we're here and we're not going anywhere.
I also want to mention that it seems like this one is led by a different organization. Usually it can take a lot to get a lot of people to get into certain positions. Like I talked about before, in some cities you have to get certain permits to be actively protesting in certain areas. Otherwise, the police have jurisdiction to disperse people just because there's a large crowd or whatever. And it can be different cities, different states, so on and so forth. Some, like what the conditions that I'm talking about where people just kind of show up and there's not really like a designated organization or plan that's like being conducted, those would be situations where it's a large response to something that's happening. So like the ICE protests, people going to detention centers and just sitting outside with signs and stuff like that. That is something that you see, I don't know how all of them are organized because I don't live in the cities where that sort of thing happens. But you could have that just be an organic thing where someone just kind of takes a megaphone and starts leading everybody. And, you know, it really just depends on the type and the style of protest. Happy sweet.
We like to look at things that gets people's attention.
My
And
cat's
media likes
back
to
here.
look at things that are like eye-catching.
They're not focusing on these kinds of marches. They only capture what they know people want to see.
And
That
we
is
aren't
true,
that
too.
eye-catching, entertaining. Why? Because we tell the truth. Because we're smart. Because we're not burning shit down. So they're not going to watch us.
Kai and E didn't strike me as the Antifa terrorists I'd read about. How many groups are operating in Portland?
Most
I linked up
protests
with
are
Corey Elia, a
peaceful
community
like that,
advocate
too.
journalist who had been covering the nightly protests since the beginning, to help me sort out who might be Antifa.
There's a big gradient in terms of what the protest consists of. How does this vary every night?
This crowd is not Antifa. It's a crowd of about a half dozen to maybe a dozen different organization groups.
The reality in Portland is that there are many small groups that organize across a decentralized network of loose collectives. Nobody is really in charge, but all the groups promote and talk to each other.
And every single one of them seems to have a slightly different message. Some are about reform, some are about complete abolishment of the current system. Just people wanting to protest. And yes, there are certain individuals usually coming out and looking to just destroy stuff. And then like there are direct action nights where you will see just people all in black showing up to occupy public spaces, be loud, throw basically what looks like a block party, and on the edge of it there's some vandalism going on and stuff like that. I mean, that's probably one thing you're gonna see. I don't know if where Irving Park Assembly tonight's going, but if they end up going to one of the precincts, you might see that.
As Corey predicted, the assembly of protesters at Irving Park made their way through the rain to the North Police Precinct. If this group of protesters in tactical gear was Antifa, what I witnessed certainly wasn't scary terrorism. What followed was a delicate balance of agitation, hijinks, and some form of modern art.
This is the Portland Police Bureau. Do not enter or remain upon the North Precinct property.
Just got on the loudspeaker and asked people to stop throwing projectiles and shining lasers, which it sounds like a parent trying to get their kid to stop doing something.
True.
Stop throwing objects and/or pointing lasers at officers.
It's just kind of
I
ridiculous.
haven't seen this video in a long time. Yup.
All right, so we've been standing out here for about 2 hours in a bit of a standoff, and now we've had recycling.
Did you see how everyone's chill, like with what's
Everybody's kind of
happening?
moved back a little bit.
They're just like, okay.
I'm sure you've watched the news. If you run into somebody who's only been observing that echo chamber, what do you tell them about this situation going on here?
They're not centralized. They're just a giant mess of people, mass,
Mhm.
and it usually ends up being somewhat of a mess.
We got one of those scooters for rent.
One of the more interesting things I see from the alt-right conservative medias is anybody at these protests that shows up, if they're wearing mostly black or all black, regardless if they're black bloc or participating in that way or anything, they're instantly labeled as Antifa.
This protest was declared a riot
true.
less than an hour later. Between the few arrests we witnessed and the dumpster fire, it's easy how someone might see just a handful of these images and think that the city was in chaos, when in reality, this protest had mostly been contained to a small area outside the precinct. After 3 days of searching, I realized the oldest active Antifa group in the country, Rose City Antifa, actually had an email address. Very odd for a supposed terrorist.
Inquiry, are you
Luckily,
terrorists?
they agreed to meet with me.
Our group is kind of one example of organizers who are dedicating specifically our time and efforts to learning about, spreading information about, and doing work to counter fascist organizing.
So, what is Antifa?
Means being an anti-fascist. Maybe they coordinate with other people or organize. It could also just be part of a person's broader political stances, but it doesn't necessarily connote a organizational relationship.
Tell me a little bit about the work you do.
We collect information over long periods of time to provide relevant information and useful information to the community that's trying to keep themselves safe from fascist organizing and fascist violence. So that means doxing people at times.
How active
I
has
see.
Rose City Antifa been in these recent protests here in Portland?
We don't feel, especially as say like a majority white organization that specifically focuses on anti-fascism, that it is our place to try and dictate the goals or the direction of a movement that is led by black women and young black people for the most part. We're not organizing any protests. We are, other than those that are specifically intended to counter fascist organizing or fascist repression.
While we were in Portland, Rose City Antifa published an article exposing the extreme right-wing connections to organizers that were holding a rally our last day. The rally at the now famed Justice Center was attended by several right-wing groups including Patriot Prayer, the Proud Boys, Back the Blue, anti-Marxists, and plain old Trump supporters.
If you
These right-wing
notice,
groups were flanked.
these groups look almost identical to one another, except for like the people maybe, but like the way that they are dressed, how they have shields, how they have gas masks in general. This dude over here is like dressed in like military-esque gear and stuff. Like,
by an equally diverse coalition of
that's
left-wing
not
groups,
unique.
Democratic Socialists, BLM,
Mhm.
anarchists, anti-fascists, and maybe some Joe Biden Democrats.
Get on the side of justice, not on the side of nationalism.
There's both sides are dressed like that. Saucy.
The direct action part of your work
If you hadn't shown up,
And this
they
side
would've
of
been
things they don't really
screaming
talk
into
about
the air.
nowadays, but that was happening all over the US too.
It's not about specifically just that they're there to like say their thing and then they won't like bother anybody. The whole point is that if anybody expressed any dissent with what they were saying, that person would in all likelihood be subject to violence. Proud Boys have a long and storied history of basically just beating the shit out of pretty much anybody they feel like, especially anybody who has the
True.
gall to, for example, shout "fuck Trump" when they ride past them in their car holding a Trump flag.
Literally true, even here in Nebraska.
I do not want this to happen in Portland, but I am not gonna let them get away with this kind of stuff. Where am I gonna go? Where are you gonna go? Where are your children gonna go? When that kind of stuff continues and this system breaks down, I don't support BLM. I do support Black Lives. Black Lives Matter? No. They are a Marxist, communist organization.
Yo.
Mark my words.
Do you think the news reports that I receive across the country
They're
are as bad as
actually,
things
they
are
got in
actually
trouble
here?
for being capitalistic
that
and
bad. Now,
financially
is the entire city
motivated.
of Portland?
The opposite.
But
The
that
opposite.
mayhem and that craziness and that chaos is keeping people in fear.
I'm trying to settle into the chaos here. It's just so ridiculous. Holy fuck, people are just throwing shit back and forth at each other. I just got hit with a rock. I think somebody got hit with a pipe bomb. There's a loud explosion. They carried him away. It looks like some sort of explosive with marbles inside of it. Shit. That's shit. It's real boss. This sucks, man. This is such fucking bullshit. On both sides. Like, it's just dumb. Fucking media's eating this shit up.
Yep.
So a lot of people
It's true.
who come to these nightly protests and the ones that have turned violent, doesn't it get complicated when you're so anonymous that you can't say, wait a minute, this isn't, not all these people are Antifa, they're not all with me, because they get grouped in with everybody because they're wearing black, right?
The point of block is to project your identity, be able to blend in with the crowd, and be able to function both autonomously and collectively with other folks who are there trying to reach the same goals, right? The overriding principle for
That's
like
true.
how we decide what we're gonna do cannot be based on the needs and priorities of media organizations.
Do you want to kill Trump supporters?
No, we don't want to kill Trump supporters. We want to stop fascists from organizing using whatever tactics are most effective.
Is there a performative element to these recent protests?
When we started off doing this, no one wore any of these goddamn helmets. And then people started getting shot in the head. So people were like, well, damn, I should probably get a helmet, right? The defense started tear gassing everybody, so people started wearing gas masks. It's one of the main ways that you can be on the front lines, exert that kind of consistent pressure, and be opposed like directly and be able to have people there saying, that's fucked up, we don't agree, and those folks should get the fuck out of here.
All right, so behind me is the remnants of what's left of this. We're now across the street in this park. The two groups, they essentially kind of battled it out and then chased the Blue Lives Matter.
Notice how the
Patriot
cops
group
don't do anything
down
because
the
they're
street
fighting
and
each
around the
other.
corner. So now we're back here, and the Black Lives Matter liberal
They allow
coalition
it
is
to
taunting the police now, and there's some elements of
escalate.
the more conservative delegation over there. It's very hard to talk about who these groups are because they're so loose. There's so many different groups here. You got the anarchists, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, Joe Biden Democrats. Who the fuck knows?
Context is key to understanding the situation in Portland. I began to think about how the news had informed my opinion. I needed some help understanding this, so I reached out to Dr. Rashawn Ray.
You know, certain people see certain clips and they think the whole city of Portland is burning. How do you think the way that we receive media and information through social media or in the news, how do you think that does a disservice to what we actually know about these protests?
So social media is obviously a gift and a curse. Everyone from a local protester to the president of
I do feel that it's important to mention that this is a big reason why community is really important, especially when any sort of government situation is happening. Right now, our government is targeting lots of small groups that that are left-leaning, saying that they're Antifa and that they shouldn't get funding and they shouldn't be able to be organized or whatever. And slowly but surely, they're going to start going more and more to the right, where they're starting with the far left groups and then they're going to encroach on more and more groups that are closer to the center, and so on and so forth. These groups and community-based organizations are the ones who have been helping fuel different protests, like bringing the people in and saying like, hey, this is this event that's happening, this is what's like, this group is starting a protest here about what's happening, we all believe in the same message, so we should all group together and go. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but like, I think it was 5-6 months ago, we were talking about how religion was very, very influential in the American Revolution. Without different organizers who are, you know, participating in the revolution, being able to utilize different churches and church organizations as a way, or other social groups as well, to spread information about what was going on and organize people to help lead the revolution, nothing would have happened. So you have to have a lot of community-based groups in order to organize and get a lot of people involved in communal change. If you make it so that community does not feel safe, you will not be able to have those changes actually happen. So that's a lot of the concern that I personally have about what's happening.
The United States uses
it's very different than
traditional media channels.
People kind of make it out.
However, social media is set up where these are oftentimes short clips taken out of context. What people are seeing on social media and even on mainstream cable news are buildings burning, and it looks like massive destruction in a city. And oftentimes news media will say Portland rather than saying a specific neighborhood, because people won't resonate with that neighborhood unless you're from there. But people who live there, I mean, you can see people in Portland just going about their normal day, completely unencumbered by what's happening with the protest. And a lot of people simply take a 45-second clip on Instagram or Twitter, and what they think is, wow, imagine if this was down the street from my house. That's where people's minds go. And in this era, Donald Trump is stoking fears in that way, that response to that is something that people are reacting to.
And this is pretty much the end of everything, but I'll let it
Buzz
finish.
Mostly political
I'll let it
stance,
finish.
like being feminist or pro-Second Amendment, rather than some galaxy brain conspiracy network. And yes, the decentralized nature of direct action within a black bloc can be frightening. There's no clear leadership, no singular vision. It creates a space for extremists to engage in violence. But the heart of anti-fascist ideology is to fight against white supremacist groups that the Department of Homeland Security has called the most persistent and lethal domestic terror threat to the country. And that's something we should really be afraid of.
It's also important to note that, I say that a lot, it's important, guys, it's important. All of this is super freaking important. But when it comes to Trump and the whole Antifa message that he's trying to push right now, saying Antifa's bad, Antifa's dangerous or whatever, people understand, especially organizers, that you cannot allow things to escalate. Like, you cannot get a ton of people together and really get aggressive in situations, because that's just going to be used as ammunition against the movement, against the cause, or really anything that you're, like, any message that you're actually trying to give to people. When people are like, oh, Trump is trying to use this as like a honeypot, basically lure people in, trap them, and then like do mass arrests and be like, hey, this is like what's happening all over the country, all this bad stuff, and use it as justification to militarize different cities with federal agents. It's not a very good thing. Like, it really is not. It's actually quite concerning. And people aren't really understanding the weight of what's going on, especially the people that I speak with here in Nebraska. Like, they're not understanding because they don't see it here. Like, you may be like, oh, well, you know, it's in the big cities, and conservatives are just like, oh, well, it's in the big cities, but they don't understand that what's happening here is like just it's on a smaller scale of what's happening in those other states or bigger cities. Oh, Tohami says, I love the keffiyeh on the set behind you. Yeah, it was originally here, but then my cat kept trying to like swat at it because it has little tassels on it. So I put it on here during a stream, and you guys were like, I like it. So it's here now. It's really cute though. It's my favorite one. But yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. Do you know anything about this, Tahami? Because I don't know. It's been wild to me to see. And I live in a red state, so this is something that I'm talking to people about constantly. I've been involved in like lefty stuff, so it's been, yeah. Do you have other ones? Yeah. Well, I have a couple of other ones. A lot of them are smaller. They're a little bit dirty, but usually when my hair is greasy or I'm working, I wear like headscarves. Especially when I'm working on like, you know, a car outside or whatever, because there's dirt that like falls down on you. So I usually like do like a full, I'll just like cover everything up. Because cats or like hats are helpful, but then when you have like the lip, you know, it gets on stuff. So, I think my camera has been like a little bit dirty. There you go. Yeah, they're all dirty for the most part. I have a red one, and then I have a dark green one. But this is my favorite one because it's like my really big one. I can use it as like a bag, which is really cool. But yeah. I guess you guys don't see me in like my IRL clothes, but I always wear like scarves, especially in the winter because I get really cold. And I have like neck pieces that I wear so that no cold really hits me. So it'll be like it'll go up to here, and that's like a like bandana sized, and I make them too out of my old clothes, and I just get in. So the keffiyehs are really nice for that, smaller ones. But yeah. Yeah, I just haven't really had them as part of my set. Anyways, I could talk all day about this stuff because it's really important and people just don't get what it's like. And I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of sad. Tommy says, I'm a person who always wears a keffiyeh on my neck to hide it because it's really tall. Oh, like your neck is? Like it's really long? No, I could probably get like a bandana so I can kind of show you. I don't know why. I'll show you. Why not? Why not? Why not? These are just all my clean ones. I have a ton of just bandanas. But no, all my kufiyas are actually like in the wash right now. Like I'm not even joking. Yeah, it's really long, so it's like it's looking if you know him. I don't know who that is. Okay. See, I don't really have like that long. I feel like with women too, it's very much like, oh, I get what you mean. I bet you wear like a lot of collared shirts or whatever. When I was young, people would make fun of me for having like a long neck. And I would wear, like, I still do it, but I usually wear like a lot of my shirts like this. So it looks like less, like I'll pop my collar a lot. And I've always done that because people would make fun of me. But yeah, if you work out more, people can't really tell. But I've made a lot of them. Like, these aren't kufiyas, obviously, but like bandanas. And I'll just like wear them like that. Hold up, hold up. I don't know why I'm doing this. It might get my hair all messy. Hold up. Wait, I gotta put my hair up. Well, I don't know why I'm doing this. I feel like you're privileged enough to see what I look like IRL, especially in the winter. In the winter, I'm always like covering my hair and then I cover my neck. Like I'm covering everything and I'm wearing like layers of clothes. So I usually wear stuff like this. And then you can't really like see. And then I'll take like another scarf or whatever. I guess this is like one of my larger ones that I have right now. And then I'll just like cover myself up and then people can't really like see me. And that's just what I wear in the winter because it's so cold here. It can be like in the negatives and I have to walk everywhere. So this is like my normal fit. Yeah, you always look like that in the street? Yeah, same. Same. This is just, and I'll like pop my collar up like that and then like, because this is part of my like winter fits. It's really cozy. It's really comfy. And then I also really like turtlenecks too, but they're also, they can be like really confining because you can't take them off. So, but yeah. Now you guys see what I look like IRL. And when you put on your hair, you look Russian so much. I know. I know. I get that a lot. Nowadays, like this past winter, people were like, well, and I work with a lot of Muslims too, so they like they've been like giving me like tips on like scarves and stuff like that, like hijab scarves that are like warm that I can wear because my hair will go everywhere, and when it's like snowing, because I have to walk, I don't have a car, so I have to ride the bus, public transit, and I don't want my hair looking like shit for what I have to go to, so they give me advice on like different materials to wear. So that's why I have so many. And just to like layer and everything. But yeah. But then when I wear those, because I live in Nebraska, people are like not very nice. It's kind of fucked up. But yeah. I know I look Russian, it's because I'm white. And I probably have some in me. My stepmom had like Russian origins. So blame her, Lamau. She's not even like my actual mom. That's the meme. It's a joke. It's a joke. I hope you get that it's a joke. But yeah. It's actually really nice because I've been kind of cold. Tohami says I was gonna play. I had to wear hijab for a moment, and yeah, it makes your head so warm. It's nice. But like with the current stuff that's going on, people are really weird about stuff. So like because I work with a lot of hijabis, I usually especially with newer people, I like cover my hair a little bit just to make it more comfortable, and I don't really mind. It's like cold where I work, so I'm just like cozy. And I got so used to it that I was working, I work part-time for like gardening stuff or whatever, so I'd go like place to place a little bit. I was helping out at a local shop just for like some extra cash. And I was in a greenhouse and I just kind of put like it was like just in my bag. So I basically just like put it on and it looked like, because it was basically like a hijab. And this dude was being so fucking mean to me. And I was like, holy fucking shit. Holy fucking shit. Because I didn't expect people to be like that fucking rude about shit, but I was like fully covered, like baggy clothing, and I was wearing it so I wouldn't get dust all over me because I was dusting the ceiling of stuff and just cleaning, and I didn't want to get the chemicals on me and the dust in my hair because I had another like thing I had to do in front of people, and it was really interesting. It was really interesting to see it. Like in the winter, people will be like rude to me too when I cover up too, which is like stupid. Like I don't know, it's like I feel like my experience isn't like super necessary to talk about because I'm like a little white girl in Nebraska. But I live in a larger city and people would just be like, I think one lady, she told me that I shouldn't feel like I had to wear it, and I was like, I'm just cold and I don't want to get my hair messed up. And then she got really weird with me. And then she like left because I didn't understand for a long time. That's what they were doing. I don't know. People are weird. Tohami says, yeah, because it just looks like a hijab. If it has a brand logo or something, no one's going to talk about it. Yeah. But I also don't wear a lot of logos because it makes me uncomfortable, as I'm wearing like a Vans thing. But like, I like very minimalistic stuff. So, I don't know. People are weird about stuff. Like, they're really weird. And especially nowadays. Like, I could wear, and this is stuff that I've been wearing for like a long time to stay warm and everything because it gets like in the negatives. It gets to be like -10. You want me to walk like 10 blocks in -10-degree weather with wind chill without covering myself up? Like, no. But because other people don't do it, I don't know. It's been a thing that I've been getting more recently than like 5 years ago. I did it all the time 5 years ago. I would cover myself up in the same exact way with basically the same clothing, and people wouldn't say shit about it. They wouldn't treat me weird. They'd be pretty much the same. And now people are really weird about it. And that's how I can tell that like Islamophobia is becoming a really big thing, or at least even more prominent than it used to be, which is crazy. Because for me, I can tell the difference because I've been dressing like this for a long time. It's not something new for me. It's just fucking crazy. I don't know. And it's rough. It's rough too. But I don't know. It's nice because at least, I don't know, I feel like it can help normalize things a bit more too for the people who are super shitty, but I don't know. There's a dude who like, Tommy says that's literally because they think that in Islam we force girls to wear hijabs, and that's not. I know. It's a personal preference. It's just modesty. And people don't get that. It's like how a lot of Jewish women will, after they get married and stuff like that, they literally cover their hair. A lot of Christian women, like nuns and shit like that, they cover their hair. Catholic women do that. It's like, there's been a thing recently where people have been getting a lot more like that, and I don't know what's gonna happen because I was just wearing like, okay, to be fair, it did, like those hoodies that you can have that have like a built-in hood. So I was wearing that and I had like a hat over it, and then I had it like pulled up over my face, and I had like a little thing. So it literally did not look like a hijab really at all to me because it was just a hood, and I had like a hat over it to keep everything secure and in place. My hair was completely tucked back, and it was just like all around my neck because I have like a couple hoodies that are like that because warm winter. I went winter camping, so it's just left over from when I was younger. Anyways, I was wearing that. It was like a very light thing. I had a t-shirt on over it, just to, the work shirt. And he was like so rude. And I overheard him like talking to my manager about it. He was like, why you shouldn't have your workers like dressed like that there. And that was last week. And it was really awkward. And I don't know. It made me feel really weird because like my manager didn't really like defend me or anything. She was just like, oh well, she's just a temporary hire, she's helping out right now. That's what she said. Not like you shouldn't be talking like that or whatever, you shouldn't be doing whatever. And I was just like, okay. Tommy says that's the stylish way to wear a hijab in Egypt now. Yeah. It's really interesting, like in different places how people dress it up and stuff like that. Like right now, here it's really popular to have like the jersey style, where it's like very long and flowy and just kind of like. But I know a lot of women who work out and stuff like that too, who have like the closer, like tighter one too. So I guess that's kind of what it looked like. But anyone who was Muslim, they'd just be like, oh yeah, that's not hijab. She's just like trying to not get dirty. But white, ignorant people who are like very conservative, who come into the workplace regularly, which luckily I'm not there all the time, but come into that location specifically regularly, it was not chill. And like people were like not willing to come up close to me. But then like when I took it down and other customers were coming in from the same group of people, and they had like Trump shit on their car. Like, I'm not even joking with you. They like came in and they were like instantly fine when I was taking my hood off so I could like adjust my hair and like, you know, drink some water and stuff like that before I had to continue working. So it was really odd because I've been doing this type of work for a while. And I've never dealt with people being as weird about it as they are now. And I don't even wear a hijab. So it was like, damn. Tommy says, imagine what Muslim women have to deal with every single day. I know. A lot of my students really struggle. And it's hard. It's hard because I talked to them about it a bit. And that's why I start wearing like a little bit around them. Like, I'll cover up a little bit more and I'll like, you know, wear like a scarf around my head and stuff. And they're like teach me how to style. They're really sweet about it. Yeah, I teach ESL. I volunteer. It's not like a whole, I'm not there every single day or whatever. But yeah, like when I do go, sometimes I do that just like, you know, because especially with newer people who like just came to the United States who are a little like uncomfortable, sometimes I'll do it. But it's yeah, and when I was doing for a while I was teaching immigrant women how to drive. And I would like wear a scarf and like cover up and stuff like that more when I was driving them just because it made them feel more comfortable. And yeah. Tommy says, I appreciate that you're actually a nice teacher. Well, I try to be. There's definitely a barrier, so yeah. But I don't know. When I was teaching women how to drive and doing like more one-on-one work with people, I had to like cover up a lot more. So that's why I have like my kufiya and stuff like that, like this larger one, and you know, like other scarves that I have. Like I have one that is I think is from it's either from India or Pakistan, but I wear that one a lot. It's starting to get like really worn down. But yeah. Tommy says, yeah, I know that you helped them feel more safe and comfortable in the new country that they're in. Yeah, well, that's like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of women in that position, it can be helpful to have that, you know? And for me, I don't mind. I'm comfortable doing it, so I'm just like, yeah. It doesn't make me feel, it's like I get to experiment with it a little bit too. And like how it makes me feel and makes me feel more comfortable or less comfortable. It just it's weird. It's weird because it's like I said before, I could go out in public and I'd be like more like earlier in the year when I was helping out a bit more with the driving stuff, I could walk to and from and I'd be like in a skirt, like a baggier, like long sleeve top or whatever, and have like a scarf on or like a hijab on and stuff like that, and people would be more chill about it. But now people are a lot like weirder, and it's something that I've noticed more recently. It's just started accumulating more and more. So I don't know. That's kind of like a weird thing that I've noticed. And it made me feel weird because like I don't know. I don't know how women do like work and stuff like that and deal with that like bullshit. Cause it low-key like just pisses me off, honestly. Yeah. I don't know. But I don't know. I'm glad that they felt more comfortable with it and everything. It's just discouraging to see how other people react to it. Anyways, sorry. We got really off topic. We were originally talking about like Antifa and stuff like that. But how are you, Tahami? How's it going? What is the happening? How are you? I do have to go cook soon. But it is a Friday. I don't have anything going on tomorrow, so I get to hang out here a little bit longer if you want to. ironic. It feels kind of weird because I'm like wearing shorts with like long socks on, and then I have this whole like setup. I'm gonna get a little too toasty. Yeah, I don't know. I usually don't talk about that stuff a lot. I feel more comfortable talking about it because I don't do the driving side of things because I don't have a working vehicle. And with the whole immigration situation, we're not getting as many refugees and to like have me need to like help out as much anymore. Oh, Tommy says I'm good. I actually just got a break from work, so I feel happy. Ooh, what do you do? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. Privacy. Privacy is okay too. Mm. You're on break right now. I hope your work has been going good. Ugh. I'm back. Back to my streamer fit. It's funny. I'm actually like more modest IRL than I am on stream. I just realized that. Like, don't look at me. Anyways. I have to do my nails again. Me and my dad have a cosmetic store. Ooh, exciting. That's cool. Cosmetics are really fun. Wait, where are you from? Oh, you're from Egypt. Oh, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Wait, are you in Egypt right now? Masad? I'm really bad with my R's because I can't. I had a tongue tie growing up, so I couldn't roll my R's until I had surgery when I was older. So I still sorry, like I can't, like I can, but now it's just I trained myself to not do it. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't leave it before in my life, sadly. That's fair. Hmm. I'm not good with Egyptian Arabic. I'm glad you're here. It's early for you. Early, early morning. I want to go there so bad. It's 4 a.m. now. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's very early for you. Every time the North African crew kind of comes in, I'm like, "Yo, it's early, bro. It's early." I'll try to, I don't know, I've been streaming later. Egyptian Arabic is not that hard. It's not that hard. You're right. You're right. You're right. But in here we don't sleep. That is also true. That is so true. It is like everybody is like never sleeping. Wait, do you use Yanam or is it Anam for sleeping? Yanam Anam sleep. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It might be different in Egyptian Arabic. I have been learning Levantine and standard for the most part. Yes, it's Anam. Anam. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah. Hey. Okay, okay. Yeah. I think I can't is like you don't say ka. Like, you don't do that in Egyptian Arabic. Like, instead of saying Korbi, you say Orbi. 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 um, um, let's see. Kodem? Is it Kodem? Kodem is like I can't. Pull up. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. I wrote this down. I did. I was practicing it. This is good for me. Yeah, you got that right? Thank you. Wait. Ma'akdar. That is, I can't. Ma'akdar. No. I say that all the time to Andrew. Ma'akdar adam. I can't. At least when I'm practicing, when I'm like really tired. So he'll ask me to do something. Well, people will. And I'm just like, ma'akdar. And I just like to annoy them. Oh, thank you for the follow, Cryo. Yeah. It's very sweet of you. I'm working on it though. I have colors down. Colors, I'm good with colors. Wait, I'm saying it the Syrian way. Fuck. So, here's my thing. I'm learning via, you're gonna laugh at me. I'm learning through Instagram and YouTube. And a lot of it is in different accents. And I know it's funny because people will tease me about it too. And I'm just like I'm pretty sure, like, entadari, like, that, I'm probably saying it with a different, like, accent, but I have no idea what it is. I know, it's so rough. Eventually, I will have an accent that is continuous. And that would be nice. Yeah, but in every country there is different way to say the words. Sometimes it's different letters. Yes. But the word is spelled the same. Right? Sometimes. It's so rough. It's really rough. Yeah, but not all the time. I know. Wait. What? I've been watching movies, you know. Wait, I'm gonna practice. Okay. Ushihidu El Tilfaz. I forget how to say TV show or movie. Cinema. But I watch TV to help. And the news. So I watch a lot of Al Jazeera, which is nice. It's helpful. But قليلاً. A little. Not a lot. Movie is film and TV show is musalsa? Musalsa? Film. Film and musalsa. Okay. Musalsal. Not musalsa. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Cool. That's good. I want to do more Arabic practice on stream. I'm getting better though. تعلمته. أنا تعلم. Still a student. Let's see. Oh well. Oh well? I've been listening to more music though. So like you know that one you didn't judge me. Some of my other chatters that are from other countries, they judge me a little bit. But I've been oh yeah, I can see that you said musalsal, right? Musalsal? Yeah. I think now I'm nervous, so I might say it wrong, even though it's a hard word. Yeah. I'm good with repeating things. So if you say something, I can repeat it, but I'm not good at retaining what it means all the time, and that's why I have to write it down. Like I write down every word 10 times. Wait. I don't know. If you come back, I'll do more. I've been very motivated to do a lot more Arabic. My goal is to be good at speaking it in about 3 years from now. It's actually great that it's going to help you learn faster. Really? Oh, thank you. I feel so dumb all the time. Tahami, most of my students speak different regions of Arabic. So I have Syrian students, probably why I said it the Syrian way. I also have some Sudanese students and some people from like the North African kind of region. So it's closer to Egyptian Arabic, but it's still a little different, you know? I had Levantine students for a bit, which was really helpful, but now it's primarily Sudanese, Afghani, which they speak Farsi, and that's a whole nother thing. I'm not great with Farsi. Better, because they say they're similar things, like the whole Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam, and you say salam a lot, and like mabruk, and like similar like sayings and stuff, so we can bond, but the nitty gritty is harder. Tahami says, yeah, because in Egypt there are some words that we totally changed them to other words. Yes. Yes. Yeah, yes, you have. And I sit there and I'm just like, ah. My brain just like starts melting. But it's still good. It's good. My goal is to yeah, I said Mabruk, 100% correct. Thank you. Thank you. If I can talk to people and they like I can repeat really well what people say to me. And as long as I hear it a lot, I can just say it that way. The problem is that I have to do it all online and I don't have consistent people that I'm around all the time. Like if I was just around Egyptians or Lebanese, or because I originally learned Arabic through Lebanese people and people from lots of different like regions. But yeah. Tommy says, yeah, if you lived in an Arabic country, you're gonna be an expert in less than 1 year. Yeah. I'm good at picking up languages and saying things back and learning it. I just need that immersion. Like, I really want to live in a different country. I'm just nervous about where to go. I can't decide. I wanted Jordan Jordan is really pretty, very historic. Egypt is a lot more organized with like a lot of people from America go to Egypt and they say and you know, there's many different big cities. It's very Western friendly. Um, I thought maybe the Gulf states, like Qatar or like Saudi, like Riyadh, but I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know. It's just something I've been picking up, and it's always been around me, so it's just I might as well just learn it at some point. It's just kind of been there. So, yeah. Yeah. Ja, ja, ja. Not always, but as I got older. Tommy says, I will say that Egypt is the best country to visit, but the worst country to live in. Yeah, that's what a lot of Egyptians have told me. One of my chatters who's now like, we're kind of friends, um, he lives in Tunisia, and I think it's beautiful there. Like, it's so beautiful. But he also has a more privileged life in Tunisia. So it's like what it would be for them would probably be different for me if I were to go there. I thought Morocco for a while, but Morocco is harder to find jobs in. So I can't decide. I'll probably stay in a country for a couple of months or a couple of weeks and then come back to the States and then flip flop, you know? I just need more people from a specific dialect to speak to, and then it'll be a lot better. And then I can just like pick up on it a lot faster. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Shukran. Ah, thanks. It's nice to be complimented on it because I feel so dumb all the time. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm working on it. Tommy says, and the Moroccan accent is so hard that we can't even understand them all the time. Yes. Yes. Agreed. It sounds so bad, but I've given up on listening to Moroccan content. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's so hard for me. I struggle with it so much. So most of what I consume is Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Saudi, and Al Jazeera, which is everywhere. That is my main stuff that I listen to. Yeah. Oh, tonight I have to wait. Is there a TV show that you recommend that I could watch or a YouTuber? Because I still want to learn. It's just hard to do it right. Jordan and Lebanon and Palestine, they're similar ones to us. Yeah. Yeah. Which is good because I might be able to talk more with some people from Jordan, but it's a little bit harder because they moved. Uh, Lebanon, I worked with a lot of Lebanese people, so I picked up on some of the dialect there. Palestinians, they're kind of like touch and go. I don't get to interact with them as much because I've met a couple of them like in person, but I don't like, especially with the volunteer work I've done, they usually have the more skilled Arabic speakers speak with them or be around them, like people who are more who have been in similar situations, who can give them more of an understanding, help, or guidance that they need. But yeah. There's someone called Aldahe. Aldahe? Hey? I might have said that wrong. He's telling stories and explaining something on YouTube. He is really famous here and funny. Okay. Cool. And he has English subtitles so you can watch him. Okay. Let's see. Hi, Ollie. Hi. Oh, Aldahe. Aldahi? Dahi. He is Dahi. Dahi? 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 I don't know. I'm nervous. But there is one TikToker who I've been watching for a while. Let me see if I can find him. You know, yeah, you're saying right? Okay, good. Let me see if I can find him. Okay. One second. Ah! One second. What is his name? Time? Yeah, it's Time. Time. But he, let me see if I can show you. He lives in his car. And he live streams. He travels all around the Levantine area and the Gulf, and he cooks food and hangs out. It's really cool. And I've been watching him for a while now, and it's been good to practice Arabic because I can pick up a lot of other words. Yeah, you know this man? He's cool. Yes, cool. I watch him all the time. William, every day. I do. And it's really nice. He's really funny. So everyone was, and that's how I learned how to say, zib, like, peener. I learned that one because of him, because he was carving into trees. And I know. I'm sorry. But chat kept telling him to carve a penis into the tree, and he was like, no, la. But he's funny. He was really funny. It throws me off when he speaks in English, and I'm like, wait, what? What's happening? I know. I know. I don't know how to say carving. I know. But it's what he said. And like, but it was funny. So that's how I learned that one. Uh, this is how I've been learning Arabic, and when I'm teaching, I have to teach in primarily English because, like, I've talked about this before, but if I just speak in Arabic, then they're not learning English, so I have to speak to them in English. So the only Arabic I get to speak or practice with them is before or after. Tahami says, if you ever went to an Arabic country, don't say it in front of anyone. Yeah. Yes. It's fine. Anyways, moving on. Painful. I do have to cook soon. I'm sorry I have to go. The The problem is you said it correctly. I know. That is usually my problem. When I speak to people in Arabic in person, they think I'm more fluent than I am, so I have to tone it down because then it just starts like, I just sit there and it all goes over my head and I'm like, they start speaking really fast and then I just sit there and I'm like, slow down. Slow down. Sura, sura. That's what I say. I'm like, sura, sura. Slow down. And then they're like, what? What? Wish. Wish. And I'm just like, sura, slow down. But yeah, I'm getting a little better. Just little by little. Anyways. Ooh. I guess that is the problem. If I say it right, yeah. That's why I don't say curse words here. You guys have asked me to say curse words to you, and I'm like, it's too good. You could tell them asno shoya, and that means slow down. Asno shoya. Shoya? Shoya. Okay. So I'm gonna write that one down. Is that like standard or is that Egyptian? Yeah, that's right. Okay. Snow. Okay, I'm gonna work on that one now. It's Egyptian. Oh, okay. I know Surah, that's Levantine and standard too. And okay. This is helpful. My goal is to learn at least 5 different dialects, and I think I can. But I have to take a lot of it takes a lot of work to get there. So I'm like, whoop. I get all nervous. But it's okay. It's kind of a lull period though, because we have less immigrants coming in, so it's less people for me to practice with. It's hard, but you can do it actually. I hope so. It's hard here in Nebraska. I live in the middle of the United States, and like I was talking about before, people are very Islamophobic here. And there are a lot of people where they don't like that I'm learning Arabic. And I have to be more careful about who I'm telling. Usually, I can say that it's just because I teach English as a second language. But when I was learning, before I started doing that, the language stuff, people were not very, nice to me about it. And, yeah, it was, Andrew, my roommate, his brother, literally, the last time I talked to him, he was like, oh, what are you doing or whatever, and, the last thing we talked about was, how, oh, I'm trying to learn more Arabic, I'm trying to get more involved in the community and stuff like that, and then he started making bomb jokes and then called me a terrorist, and then he wasn't really joking. At first I thought he was joking, but then he was like, oh, so you're just gonna move and then start doing all this stuff. It's been really weird, especially where I live, which is why I wanted to move before I started really pursuing it. But yeah, oh, sorry, I need to slow, yeah, okay, yeah. But yeah, some people are not nice about learning Arabic here. Most are nice about it. I can only tell people that I can trust about it because other people will be very mean to me, if that makes sense. Which is not great, but it's really opened my eyes. Yeah. Just F them and learn what you want. Yeah. Well, it's opened my eyes, and I've seen how people are treated more, and I still have it easy compared to a lot of people who speak it natively or speak it as their mother tongue. It's hard. It's hard. It's really given me a lot more sympathy and understanding. Not that I didn't have it before, but you don't. I'm gonna cook soon. Don't worry. He's giving me the look. I'm gonna
just
cook
here to
in a
get a
couple
towel.
minutes.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just also knew that when I came over here, you would be reminded of the time because you would see me and be like, oh, wait.
Yeah. Hello. But I'm telling them about how not everybody likes how I'm learning Arabic. I know, everyone is always a critic, yeah. But one workplace, yeah, that was Andrew. But one workplace, one of my coworkers who was my manager, he was a cop and or at least an ex-cop. So he was no longer police, but then he, started doing that job. And when he found out that I was doing Arabic and I was getting more involved with like the Muslim community, he was not nice to me. And basically, it's part of why I had to leave that job, which was really rough. And it's made me understand a lot more of that stuff. Ooh, it's rough. It's rough. And then people who would be kind to me, otherwise, like they think that I have the perspective they do about Muslims or Arabs or people who are brown. And when they realize that I'm more of an ally to them, like the Muslim community, the Arab community, and how much I get involved in it than I am to conservatives, they start being not great. Tommy says, that's the true problem. That's why I'm thinking a lot about moving to America or any other country. Yeah. Right now, you can have communities that are very opening and very kind, but for me, it's a different sort of problem because when people see most Muslims or people who are like someone who is Arab, it's very easy. It's like easier to identify. You're very respectful, actually. Thank you for not being rude. Well, yeah, I try not to be. I can be on accident, but not intentionally. But yeah, so for me, it's different because when they see you or see someone who is visibly Muslim or someone who is brown, they already think of what you're going to be like. They have this idea, they're like, oh, this is who they are. But when they see me, they think that because I'm white, because I don't wear any head coverings or don't do anything that's like visibly, like I don't speak Arabic to them, I don't have an accent or anything like that, they assume that I am like them. And because I live in a conservative state and because I am in involved in the organizations, like volunteering that I am, or workplaces I am, people feel betrayed when they learn that I am not conservative, or that they learn that I am not right-leaning, you know? And then they learn that I'm more involved in, like, different communities. They get very upset. So because of that betrayal, they think that I am betraying them. They treat me poorly in a different way because they think that I am trying to trick them when I am not. Tahami says, the problem with me is that I look like Arab. I look like I'm from the Middle East, so you can know that I am Arab before I even talk. Yeah. And it's different. It's different. So for me, I struggle to have the closer relationships. I can easily work and have surface level relationships with my coworkers, but not everybody will be rude. But when I have conservative coworkers or Islamophobic coworkers or coworkers who don't like the allyship that I work towards in my own private time, they feel betrayed. And it's different. It's not the same. Definitely not the same. But I get to see how the switch flicks in ways that other people can't. And it's wild to me. So I feel betrayed because I used to go around and think that most people would be accepting and understanding, but then I find out that they are nothing like that. And that hurts. It causes a lot of like trust issues with people in different ways. I don't know. Sorry. I feel you would probably do good in a larger city. Tahami says, betrayed who or betrayed what you literally didn't do anything, just being respectful and learning another language. Yeah. Yeah. But like what I was saying before, me wearing just like a head covering that was hijab adjacent, to clean at my work got people to talk to my manager and make comments about having me look the way I do at my job, which was ridiculous. Or if I was at the DMV when I had to update my license. I saw one of my students there. She was taking her test. I started speaking to her in Arabic. So I was like, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam, kayfa hal, and then, just, we were talking. Just, how are you? What is going on? Like, are you here for driving? That sort of thing. And people started treating me weird, but the same people that I was around, and they were comfortable with me up until I started speaking to someone in a niqab and her friends that were with her who were hijabis. So I get to see this switch up and feel it in a way that other people don't. It's like people are comfortable around you and then you are an outsider. Same with if I see people out in public, my students in public, and like I give them a hug, they give me a hug, we shop sometimes together, or if I see them while I'm shopping or whatever, we will start doing what we're doing together, and then the way that people interact with me is different sometimes. And it's not always positive. Sometimes it can be positive, but other times it's not. And it's hard to see. Because when I am interacting with the Black community and helping out in organizational efforts with them, I don't nearly get the same amount of stigma for helping. But 4 years ago, when I was helping with Black Lives Matter protests, getting more involved in that, that's an American big thing that happened. I'm not sure if you know a lot about it. But when I was getting involved in that, there was more of a taboo with being involved with the Black community than there was with being involved in the Arab or Muslim community. And now it has flipped, and it is weird. Tahami says, I think it's because they are afraid that you could enter Islam even when there is no connection between them. I know. I know. I know, I know. God forbid anyone knows about my religion. It causes problems. Like, because I am very Islam adjacent, like, I practice kind of adjacently to it. Andrew's family, my roommate's family, won't interact with me or be like talk to me, really. And they're very cruel to me because of the work that I am doing. Which is interesting. So I've been pursuing that like direction-ish, but I'm not very religious, if that makes sense. I'm spiritual but not religious. But if people, sorry, I'm going fast. When people find that out, then it gets harder because of everything here. That is like the last nail sometimes in the coffin, metaphorically. So, my family was not very cool with me learning about it, and Andrew's family thinks that I am taking him away from Christianity and stuff. Tommy says, fun fact, people think that all Arabs are Muslims, but in Egypt there is 30 million Christians here. Yes. Yes. Yes, I know. I know. It just, it's hard. It's hard to explain to people that it is not like that. And here in Nebraska, I will be talking to a lot of people, and then they will call me, they will say that I'm rejecting God by trying to learn Arabic, and that they just don't, they have zero education about it, and they do not want to be educated by me about it all the time. Some people do, and they will let me educate them on it, but they are not always nice. It's sad. Yeah. It is, it's hard. Hey, people, that's huge. Why all of that? Yeah. I don't know. I know. I know. People, they want the world to be something that they understand, or they could easily understand, and they don't understand why someone would be different when they think there is better options. It's in my translation classes, my translator course that I am in, there is a term for it. Let me find it. It's actually very useful. I should remember it. I'm just really tired. It's in my notes. Okay. But in the same time, if you told them I am learning Spanish or anything, they're gonna cheer you. Yeah. No, people have told me that I should learn Spanish instead, that I am betraying my country by learning Arabic. I've heard that multiple times. Um, my my family was very not accepting of Arabs at all. But it's ethnocentrism. That's what it's called. When you believe that your ethnicity or your group of people is better, and it's when you compare everybody to you rather than trying to understand why other people would think differently. So yeah. I know some Spanish. I like Spanish, but yeah. I know, 8 people, what Arabic did is just a language. I know. I know, I know. I know. They don't get it though. They don't. When I am working, I can't listen to podcasts or anything like my music that I would share normally because my playlists have some Arabic songs and they get upset. Um, it has made it harder for me to find people that I can really get along with because of the how people assume Arabic is Islam. They think it's the same, but it is not the same. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Actually, songs are going to help you learn the right way to talk. Yes. Yes. I have I have been listening to like clubby songs. So Athle nuts. You know that song? That's been in my brain 24/7 ever since I heard it. There is Saint Levant. He's good. Nari Nari Nari. That's a good song. Calementina. That's also good. Those are my two favorites by him. And now you make it in my brain too. I just forgot about it. I know. It's hard because I want to make more Arabic related content on TikTok and on stream, but people are not not everybody is receptive. My entire especially on TikTok, people can be weird about it. And I don't know. I'm still getting more comfortable doing it. In person is a lot easier for me than online. Just 'cause. It's so good. Yeah. I do have to go eat. It would be cool actually. Really? Really? Oh, I get nervous. I want to. I want to. I want to really bad. It just stop. I'm seeing it in my brain now. It's so good. It's so good. It's so catchy. Sorry. Yeah, I might. When I do Arabic related content about learning Arabic, it does do better on TikTok. But then I get nervous because yeah. Anyways, some people are not as nice about it. But it is okay. It is okay. If I want to not be here in Nebraska and move on to other oh, why you are on a good stage. Thank you. Thank you. I will have to leave certain things behind to do that, which I am okay with. It is just hard and sad. Bittersweet. But it will be okay. It will be okay. I feel better making that content. It is hard because people are not understanding all the time. And when they see me and how I look, they do not like the idea of me doing it, especially in my life, which is sad. But it is okay. I should do what I want. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna do it again. If you think that it could affect your life, so it's okay to leave it. But if it's okay to, so keep going. I want to see you speaking fluent Arabic. Me too. Me too. I have been wanting to learn Arabic for about a decade now. So 10 years-ish. And I've always liked it. And I find it very soothing and very beautiful. And I have some books that I really want to read in Arabic that I cannot read yet. So when I was like 9, I saw my classmate reading a book and I always wanted to read it. I think it's 1001 Arabian Nights, something like that. 1000 Arabian Nights. And I want to read that in Arabic. I've always wanted to read it in Arabic. So that is my goal. You could read some poetry and books would help. Yes. It is my goal. The hard thing is learning words. So I write everything down so I can memorize words and phrases, and then I will work on grammar, which is hard. Oh, I have to go. I have to go. That is a big list. Yes, it is. It's right next to me. I have another one that I take with me for practice. That's okay. It was nice to talk to you, actually. Well, thank you. Thank you. It was nice to talk to you, too. I do have to go make food. I did have lunch late, so it's okay. You have to eat breakfast. Is that fasur? Fasur breakfast? I think. Is that breakfast? I'm still learning. Still learning. Or is that... No, we don't have our breakfast now. I knew that was the right word. Okay, good. Okay. Well, I have to go eat dinner. Yeah. I guess it's time for me to go. I say this every time, just so you know. I guess it's time for me to go now. It's like my closing thing. But I will be back tomorrow. I will be gaming a bit more. We will be playing Hollow Knight. And hopefully I am here earlier. So, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a wonderful day. And sleep well, stay safe, stay alive, and toots!